Schaefer. Happer and Schaefer. Happer and wow, Schaefer. It's Connor and Mike. Yeah. Happer and Schaefer. Happer and Schaefer. Happer and wow, Schaefer. It's Connor and Mike.
All right, good morning and welcome in. Happy Monday. It is Happer and Schaefer here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Mike Schaefer, Joey Warcola with you on this Monday morning from the Inferno. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Connor. Good morning, Mike. And good morning, TV.
Are you still doing that? All right.
Well, when he's allowed. When I take over the show, Joey didn't get as much opportunity to talk.
Because you don't ask
I get
people how you doing,
No.
what's going on.
No, I just dove right into
Maybe I got to
whatever
blow
it
through
was.
that thing too, because I don't think it's working out very well. I gotta try something else. I gotta try a new thing to tee you up with.
Look, you can go wherever you want with it. I don't know if Thursday I blew past Joey on it, but Friday I don't even think Joey was allowed to talk until the second segment, where I realized I didn't allow him to talk in the first segment.
Well, and I was thinking it was
Not
either
allowed.
Thursday or Friday. I was fixing a stream
It was
issue.
Friday.
I was fixing a stream issue on Twitter.
Wow.
So he wouldn't even
Which
have been available.
Which I was able to get it under control.
So I've been briefed on a couple of different things that happened on Thursday and Friday during this show. And so this text makes a mild amount of sense to me. A text from the 515 to start off the show. Hey, where's that Matt guy's best friend?
Yeah, they had a nice moment together. On
Young Matt and young Nick hadn't actually met. That's surprising that they didn't.
They sort of
Okay.
knew each other, but they somehow, despite being basically the same age, both in the same industry, they didn't traverse the same J school circles, I guess, if you would.
Wow, I didn't know there was.
But they knew of each other, though I did play it up to start the crossover that Nick had never heard of Matt and wasn't sure who he was. You know how that would play.
Yeah.
And it went exactly as I wanted it to, which caused Matt to,
Awesome.
And then they found out that they're best friends, and Matt broke his headphones and nearly spilled all over the board.
Just incredible.
Was usually pretty much himself.
I
They
didn't know
talked
that-
about the Cubs.
Uh-huh.
They what else did they hit on? They talked about people from the J school. They for some reason talked about the J school dean, who's no longer there. She's at North Dakota State now or something.
Wow.
So
I wish I remembered
Like
who
I
the
said-
J school dean was when I was at the J school.
I don't know who it was either for you.
I didn't know there was a J school Jets versus Sharks thing going on where they were, in different corners and they were.
Oh, there's definitely that, but it's not as you think. It's basically the capital J school kids and then the non-capital J school
Oh,
kids. You can figure out what that means.
Serious journalists versus.
Not even that. It's
Okay.
the ones that, basically were really good in J school and then never actually used journalism at all.
I got you.
Those were the ones that
There's a lot
at
of
least when
those.
I went through.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of those. Yeah. So
I guess they're the smart
and then
ones.
there was young Jake as well on Friday.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a busy couple days.
I
they're
even
good.
saw we got aggregated by Lincoln Arneal.
Yeah.
I caught this. I scrolled Twitter like one time. I caught this and I'm like, whoa, yeah, Nick breaking because I didn't forget, but I was reminded that Nick is, got a big title over at the volleyball, the Love Nebraska. And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess he could have said some stuff.
And
Nice.
so it was like the second segment of the first day he was in. I was like, let's learn about what Nick is up to with Love Nebraska. And I can explain the issue I have with never remembering the name is Love Nebraska and
I
wanting to
know.
call it all sorts of things.
So my brain wants it when I see LOVB, it makes me want to say locked on, which I almost
I don't
call
know
it
that
that
I
all the time.
understand
It's
that,
not
but,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, it's obviously not that. But yeah. All right. Awesome. So Nick is we're putting him in the circle and the
Yeah, I
trust
would
tree
say
and the
so.
nest.
Joey, how do you feel about it?
It was great. And then you forgot to mention there was a phone call on Thursday.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
Whoa,
and
what's this?
Yeah, there's a phone call. Did you ever cut it out?
God, you guys are dumb.
There you
Who
go.
was that? Was that?
That was Charlie, who called in to talk about the WNBA and then abruptly transitioned to the first 3 games of the football season.
Well, why did he call in to talk about the WNBA?
Great question.
Were you guys talking about the WNBA?
We were not talking
No.
about the WNBA.
You guys were talking about the Caitlin Clark thing?
No.
We were about to talk about the Tom Osborne thing, but then it went, we had to move that to free ball. And
Okay.
Which did lead to a sentence about Tom Osborne coming up in free ball and that people really kind of enjoyed. But
Hadn't heard forever.
yeah, Charlie wanted to he had an abrupt stream of consciousness transition to the beginning of the football season. And he phrased something about how he thought the first 3 games were going to be really bumpy. And then I pushed back on it. And then he just called us dumb. And that was the end of the phone.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. People loved it.
I wish Charlie would call in today and say the same
He
thing.
could call back.
I'm excited. I'm also excited because this is the week where it all begins, or at least that's what people tell you. Big Ten Media Days is this week.
Unofficial kickoff to college football.
Yes. Tomorrow, the journos will descend upon the hotel that The Fugitive was
Sort of
partially
depends, right?
filmed at.
Depends on what I don't think there's as many people that care about it from a conference-wide perspective anymore.
No,
So
it's impossible.
you get
to
a lot
cover
of
the
more
entire
people
conference.
just show up when their team is there.
That is true. That is true. But some people
Sure.
will be at the hotel in which The Fugitive was partially filmed tomorrow, because there will be 6 teams that are represented tomorrow, and then 6 on Wednesday, and then 6 on Thursday. Nebraska's day will be Thursday at Big Ten Media Days. And I'm telling you, I've said this a million times, it'll be nice. We'll get some stuff, we'll have Matt Rhule's big picture, things, whatever happens this week. And then it begins. Then the long slog toward the season begins. We've been dancing around, la, 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 la. We got the Wimbledon, we got the French Open, we got the Masters, we got the NCAA basketball tournament, all these different whatever things that happen on the weekends. Now is just a long, slow wait for football to start. I'm just preparing you. I know people don't want to listen to me on this, but like I told Schaefer before the show, old man Happer's been around for a long time. I know how this goes. I know the cycle of things. And once Big Ten Media Days hits, it's a nice little
Jolt.
push for a week. Camp opens. Yeah, you add to it. Sweet. And then we end up talking about the same crap garbage for the next 3 to 4 weeks after that.
So
it's terrible.
I was
terrible.
Kicking around the idea, and you saying that it only adds to the idea for me. How do you feel about tomorrow for power rankings with tiers, things we're tired of talking about with Nebraska football?
Oh my God. I mean, it's almost everything.
Mine would be condensed to like the 2026 off season. So obviously,
Okay.
not the entire historic period of Nebraska football. But
That's
if you
good. Good note.
if you wanted to go with that, we could.
No, I actually really enjoy talking about things that aren't in the cycle of the things that we talked about regarding the 2026 offseason.
Okay.
Like when we have done our drafts or all century teams.
Sure,
and,
yeah.
And tomorrow we're
It's
kicking
fun to think about things that
Yeah.
aren't just
Absolutely.
right in front of your face.
We're kicking around this idea
Sure.
of the auction that we're going to probably do tomorrow.
Do you like that as a possible power rankings with tiers, storylines, or narratives that we're tired of talking about?
Would there be enough is the thing. Yeah,
There's probably caps at about 6 or 7. So it's not like a real big list. No. I hate that. I hate it so much. It's never intentional on my part. And then I realize that I do it only because of the idiotic motion associated with it.
It is idiotic.
And then I get mad at myself, not at the person who makes the motion. I want to be very clear.
It was definitely me.
I've earned the response that you.
Sometimes it
get.
is Joey, but
no,
it's
Joey
me.
hit me with one when you were gone. I'm pretty sure. So maybe it's a segment instead of just.
I think it's a segment.
Okay, that works. That works.
So off-season topics we are sick of.
Yeah, I've asked various people like this on my podcast or on other stuff, but there are just like things that I don't want to discuss anymore, or that we have discussed so many times it's like lost all meaning to even have the discussion.
Completely agree.
You start the discussion by just outlining everything that's going to be said in the positive and the negative, and then you cut it off at the knees before you even like get into the meat of the discussion.
It's funny because all this, it's going to end up being all the topics that we list are going to end up being all the topics like that we have talked about this entire
when you
offseason.
cover a team 365 days of the year.
You bet.
You get the angles.
All right, today coming up on the show, there's no like we're not gonna do like a Big Ten Media Days preview. Don't like if you did if you do a segment today called Big Ten Media Days preview.
Oh man, are we potentially predicting what might happen between 10?
I'm not calling out anybody in particular, but if it does happen, I'm gonna swoop in there. I'm gonna say, delete from my podcast feed. I'm not listening to this or whatever it is today. But long day. We gotta talk about something.
It is a long day.
All right. Tim Verghese, Michael Bruntz will join us on this fine Monday, 8:30 and 9:15, respectively. We'll see what those two are up to as we look ahead toward football. And we have other topics. We have our man of the weekend coming up at the end of the hour in this very hour, in the 6 o'clock hour. Our balls of steel, our free ball, and all of our balls segments and accountability. I did listen to the accountability segment that you sent me, and I was in awe.
Yeah, well.
And I was a little bit more aware all weekend.
Yeah, look.
I didn't want to get my golf cart high centered on anything with the fear of falling over.
I don't even know that it got high centered. I still don't know how it happened. I backed up and it was uneven, and then all of a sudden we were going down. And I didn't go at like an obnoxious rate of speed. I didn't there wasn't some air that I got under that caused it to happen. It just started to tip, and there was nowhere to go but down.
What do you mean? Carts don't just tip.
Well, no, I mean
it has four wheels.
Obviously, I went backwards to a point where it became no longer on all four wheels.
Right.
But
there was there was a hill or some sort of.
There was enough that I just didn't think was there, or I had it at just the right angle that it was going down. I still it's one of those that I look back now that I wish that I could Zapruder film it. Yeah. Like when I was really mad about the first pitch that I threw out for the Salt Dogs, and I watched it like a dozen times, pointing out, well, I didn't stride out far enough with this foot.
No video of this. And in fact, no one ever saw it, apparently.
No, that's the other thing that's sort of amazing.
They just saw Schaefer keeled
in the middle of a golf league that there's people on every hole. There's like two groups on every hole, basically. But it occurs in this area that is just blind for almost everyone.
Saved by a Bluetooth speaker.
My ankle, yeah.
Saved by a Bluetooth speaker.
So, which amazingly never swelled up. My wife the other day was like, "You haven't limped at all?" Or wow. I was like, "Yeah, actually, the only my head still hurts from where that got hit, and I ducked it under the cart." But
as I was driving around a golf cart all weekend, I was just a little bit more aware. Just a little bit more aware.
I got several texts this weekend from people who are like, "Hey, I just wanted you to know that I drove a golf cart and it stayed upright the entire time." And I was like, "Good for you. Congrats."
Maybe every round I
hope
play,
you lost 75 balls today.
I lost a lot of balls this weekend.
But like I said, it was one of those things. I didn't even have to admit it, but I felt like I had to admit it.
Well, that's what accountability is.
I know. I tried to explain this to I feel like my wife was the most annoyed that I admitted this because she's now hearing about it from people.
Sure.
And then the last thing anybody wants to do.
They have this segment called accountability.
Explain the actions of your idiot husband. So, I
don't even know what happened. I would just throw you under the bus if I was your wife.
That's what anyone should do.
Yeah, I would just be like, I don't know how I did that. He must be a huge idiot.
She'll probably launch into well, there was times where he was driving the cart with us and I didn't feel safe. I'm like, oh, great. This is what it's going to be.
Maybe they should add seatbelts to those things. Although I don't know how much that would have helped you.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered at all.
So I'm glad everybody's okay. And I'm glad accountability, the segment really paid off already. Just
in a huge
with
way.
An instant jackpot, Yeah. Spend any time at a casino, you just go and go and go and go, and then you wait for that one jackpot. And that was our jackpot. Coming up today on the show, the top 5 games that moved the meter so far in Matt Rhule's tenure.
Yeah, I am interested in this discussion.
Okay. I came up with this last night.
You crafted the list, and then I have some potential alternatives to throw at you.
So the idea that this was born from is I don't know. I'm speaking in generalities. There's not these giant emotional swings to every game. I know there's a very, very passionate fan base here, and we have a post-game call-in show that tends to get off the rails almost instantly every single time. Like that notwithstanding, if you pull out and if you look at it from a 40,000-foot view, there's not like these giant swings of emotion of like, I think we need to fire this guy right away, or, and I was reading Chattel's column about how you stay away from the extremes. And I agree with him. I don't think there's, this does not seem like a lightning rod year to me that we are going into. So I thought, let's go back to the lightning rod games that have happened in Matt Rhule's tenure that have shaped his sort of, I guess, perception to where it is right now. So we will do that coming up today. UNLV basketball is for sale. Josh Pastner, remember that guy? He had the COVID pinata.
I remember. I saw this video.
The COVID pinata?
I don't remember the COVID pinata.
It was at Pinnacle Bank Arena.
I have no memory of this.
He was the head coach of
Georgia Tech.
Yes.
And so this would have been.
They had a COVID pinata.
Okay, so this is a 2020-21 season.
It was during COVID for sure. It was.
You know what's weird? I remember football really, really well. It shouldn't even be that weird. Nebraska was horrible that basketball season, but I don't have any real memory of the basketball non-conference that they would have played at that time.
Oh, it was bad.
And so
probably because nobody could go to the games.
Well, I couldn't go to the games.
I went to almost all the games because I was covering the team at the time, and I watched them lose to UC Riverside, and I was appalled. And
I thought that was the first game of 2019.
That was the year after. Yeah, that was the first game of Blackbird.
But 2020, 2021, I don't remember that season. Like, how many games did they?
Well, they had like the MTE, which was called what was that thing called? It was so stupid. What was the name of that thing where they had like Nevada?
Looking it up.
Yeah, it was called something stupid. They had a bunch of games at Pinnacle Bank Arena and lost most
Golden
of them.
Window.
That was it. Disaster. What a stupid thing that was. They played it.
Yeah, they lost to Georgia Tech by 11 at home.
Yeah, and then Josh Pastner blew up a COVID pinata.
Lost a 24 to Creighton. They had a game canceled due to COVID to Florida A&M. Part of why I don't remember the non-con is it was basically
there was like 6 games.
It was like 3 weeks.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was November 25th to December 17th.
Awesome.
And then they started conference, like they had a conference game against Michigan on Christmas. I don't remember that.
Yeah,
at
they
all.
played on Christmas that year. Yeah.
Teddy Allen went for 25.
So anyway, UNLV basketball is for sale. A couple of Huskers end up on the Athletics preseason All Big Ten list. Are there any bounce back candidates in college football this year? Can that even happen anymore in college football? NIL and college basketball. And I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe today is the day that the Cleveland.com preseason Big Ten poll comes out.
Okay.
So if once again, Old Man Happer's been doing this for a long time, if tradition would hold, it would come out either today or tomorrow, either the first day of media days or the Monday before Big Ten media days start at 7:30 in the morning. That's usually when it drops.
Do you have a prediction?
I would say Nebraska is going to pick between 8th and 10th.
Okay. I wasn't even asking about Nebraska.
Oh.
Who do you think they put at number 1? Who do you think they put at number 18 in this poll?
I believe that the league will pick the Oregon Ducks to win the Big Ten.
I agree.
And I believe that the league's scribes will select the Purdue Boilermakers to finish 18.
I do agree. I think it's going to be like almost unanimous for Purdue. And then Oregon, I would expect the only people that aren't putting Oregon at 1 are affiliated with covering Ohio State.
Will they select Ohio State at 2, or will they select Indiana?
Yeah, I think it'll be 1 Oregon, 2 Ohio State, 3 Indiana, 4 USC, and then after that, no idea.
Some intrigue after that.
Basically spots 5 through 15 could be a lot of different teams.
The murky middle of the Big Ten. So that will, I think, come out today. We'll see. We'll keep you updated on all that stuff as it comes around. Good for. Oh, look at this. Oh well, Doug Maurice is putting out his. So he doesn't work for Cleveland.com anymore. He's doing his own deal at this point. Nebraska was selected 11th, by the way, in that. Anyway, so any preseason predictions that come along today, we'll certainly pass them along to you. And then we still have to pop up in the Phil Steele magazine as well. Bada Bing writes in, are you guys heading to Chicago for the Big Ten Media Days? No, I'm too scared of Lollapalooza. Have you seen the concert list for the Lollapalooza this weekend, which starts on Thursday? The headliner on Thursday, this is happening basically right across the street from the hotel at which Big Ten Media Days is happening. I mean, last time these things were even close to each other, it was a giant disaster for the Big Ten Media Days people. So I cannot wait to see what it looks like this time. Lorde is the headliner on Thursday. So there will be a Lorde concert and Matt Rhule talking in generally the same period of time.
That's the Royals person.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. I couldn't name a single other song.
I am Lorde. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what she sings, according to some. Friday the headliner, and also John Summit. I don't know who that is. Friday the headliner is Charlie XCX and Smashing Pumpkins, which apparently that's a real thing that's still happening.
So Charlie XCX, was she like one half of?
I don't know what she does. I don't know if it's a she.
I'm pretty sure it's a she. I think she's one half of there was like a duo that does it was a British pop song that's in a ton of stuff. Like,
I've definitely heard of this person, but I never have put a face to it.
It's like a really upbeat song that's called I Love It, and then it's like, I don't know, two women shouting in unison, I don't care.
Yeah, I know that song.
Yeah.
That's her.
I think she's one half of the duo. I can't think of the name of the duo.
Nice. Yeah, I know about that song. Saturday, the headliners are Olivia Dean and Jenny.
I don't know.
I don't know Jenny. I know Olivia Dean.
Years old.
Olivia Dean is big right now. And then Sunday, the headliner is Tate McRae, which Matt might have to make a trip home for that one.
Yeah, that's another thing that Nick and Matt,
they love Tate McRae together.
Yeah, they're big on Tate McRae.
Bunch of horny 20-somethings. Crazy.
I had no idea that Tate McRae was like that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, she's like that.
She's like that.
That's what the kids are saying anyway.
What was okay, so if I was Matt's age, that would be 13 years ago. So 13 years ago, I'm trying to think of who the it pop singer
in 2013.
Yeah. I don't even know.
I don't know. It doesn't even have to be like a pop singer. It could just be like a person who was having a moment, like the Sydney Sweeney of
Sure.
2013.
Which I've already equated that to Megan Fox of like 2007.
Oh, good one.
Yeah. There's a lot of parallel there to me. I don't know who that would be. Mostly because I just can't remember music at all.
Jennifer Lawrence, Kate Upton.
It'd be Kate Upton.
That's what Al told me. I said, who was the Sydney Sweeney of 2013?
Kate Upton, because of the Paul Skeens, Justin Verlander, you're already going Livy Dunn there. So there's like some of that.
Maybe. Kate Upton's back in the form of Livy Dunn.
Could be.
That's crazy.
Seems that way.
Could be.
Everything old is new again.
All right. So we want to hear. Mike says ScarJo potentially.
Oh, okay.
She was pretty big in 2013.
I feel like she might have even been bigger, or had gotten big before that, but that's probably. It all just runs together at a certain point.
And by the way, it looks like I have just seen this Cleveland.com poll, so we'll get that to you in just a moment. We want to hear from you all today, 402-951-1620 on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone Hotline. You can call or text that number, tweet at us at HappenSchafe, at Connor Happer, at Mike J. Schaefer on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. Email Connor, Mike, or Joey at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Who's that huge guy?
And we say good morning to our YouTube streamers today. Hello, YouTube, and welcome to the sauna. If you've been living in it for a day already, get prepared for another day of just sitting in a sauna. Or you could just stay inside.
They're terrible.
And it's a lot better that way. We're off and running on a Monday. Glad you're with us. We're back after this on 1620 The Zone.
Extreme heat warning continues on Monday. Expect partly sunny, hot, humid conditions with highs around 100. Feels like temperatures up around 115 degrees. Can't rule out a spot shower or storm in the evening. Also watching out for smoky conditions to move in late in the day into the overnight hours.
Of course, we'll be mentioning this throughout the show today. The preseason Big Ten poll has been released. Of course, the Big Ten Conference stupidly is not able to produce its own Big Ten Conference poll. All you have to do is email a bunch of people around the conference in order to get an answer on this. The Big Ten says, no, I cannot be bothered to email all the scribes. Let's give it to Cleveland.com. And so they've been putting together the poll for certainly as long as Nebraska has been in the conference, since at least 2011, I imagine, going back before that. And today, when I went to click on the Cleveland.com preseason Big Ten poll, I was shuddered away. I was told, you have to leave now because you don't have a subscription. And I am not subscribing to Cleveland.com, nor is anybody who doesn't live in Cleveland to read the stupid preseason Big Ten media poll when it's just going to get aggregated everywhere else.
I don't even know that people in Cleveland are reading Cleveland.com because it went from like being an actual newspaper to just like 4 different media things.
Oh, is it just like a service now?
Basically.
Maybe that's why LeBron went to the Sixers and not Cleveland, just because he wanted to see where his Ohio State Buckeyes are at in the rankings.
He's more of
had to subscribe.
He's more of a Philly Inquirer guy.
Yeah, he might be. He might be. No, it used to be the Cleveland Plains Dealer back when
Cleveland Plain Dealer, yeah,
when it was a newspaper.
And then there's another Cleveland newspaper too, right? What's the other one?
There's a Cleveland Scene, which is like the alternative newspaper. I don't know what the other Cleveland newspaper would be.
Okay.
Or at least I have no. They didn't cover the Indians / Guardians enough for me to be aware of it.
Anyway, you can't read it, but I have gotten it aggregated from our aggregator friends at On3. Thank you, On3. Well done by you all. The pick to win the Big Ten this year is not the Oregon Ducks.
That is wild.
It is the Oregon Ducks not. It is Ohio State, as polled by the writers, who received 15 out of the possible 31 votes. Which is 4 more than Oregon, 15-11. Indiana got 5 first-place votes to win the league. Those are the first 3 that are grouped together as we thought, but just not in the order that we thought 5 minutes ago that they were going to be put in.
I was fairly confident that people would look at Oregon and be like, okay, they return the better quarterback. They return better playmakers outside of Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah.
I think their schedule isn't as hard as Ohio State.
I know.
And yet it's Ohio State. People are just betting on the Buckeyes.
4th, USC, as you predicted. 5th, this is where it got interesting. And I don't think there's much surprise here. Michigan comes in at number 5 with Kyle Whittingham in his first season. A lot of questions for them. They come in at 5th. Penn State's getting the nod at 6 for a, I guess that'd be a bounce back year for them. Washington at 7, Iowa at 8, Illinois at 9, Minnesota at 10, Nebraska at 11, Wisconsin, UCLA, Northwestern, Maryland, Michigan State, Rutgers, and Purdue. For all the talk about Nebraska's difficult schedule, and they certainly do have one, they play each of the top 3 worst teams of the Big Ten as best teams selected on the Big Ten preseason poll. They also play 3 out of the 4 worst teams in the Big Ten and 2 out of the 3 to start conference season. Maryland at 15, Michigan State at 16, and then Rutgers sitting in there in the middle of the season at number 17. No Purdue this year, sadly. No
Purdue was not unanimously last place.
No. Somebody picked.
So there have been 31 votes.
Else, yeah.
And so multiple people would have voted for Purdue to finish like 17th or 16th.
Wow.
Look at that.
And then I know they do some other stuff like inside of the Cleveland.com story, but I can't see it.
So the other things of note would be that your sort of defensive player of the year is Anthony Smith from Minnesota.
Oh,
who I'm pretty sure terrorized Nebraska a year ago.
He definitely did. Yes.
And then
he terrorized Nebraska.
Which is kind of remarkable. Like Minnesota just continually can find the edge rushers that, or just players that somehow Nebraska can't either find or develop defensively. And Minnesota just sort of pulls them from anywhere.
They always have stars.
Yeah.
I'll give him that.
And then Jeremiah Smith, unsurprisingly, is your offensive player of the year.
D'Lo writes in, he says, has a returning Heisman finalist ever been as overlooked as Sayin appears to be this year?
Well,
that's a great question.
It's possible he's not even the best quarterback on his own team.
That is possible.
There's
but
people that kind of believe that.
No, I know, but I think you're one of them.
I get
but
it.
The question is, I think, appropriate. The way that he gets talked about for how good everyone knows they're going to be this year, just because they have such a high bar for how good they're always going to be. And he's going to be, and he was a Heisman finalist last year. Like, and he was a 5-star recruit, like all these different things. People look at him like he's like chopped liver. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it.
I definitely don't think he's chopped liver. I just like relative to the expectation of Ohio State quarterbacks. I don't know. Like, there's just some box that is not checked. It's like this invisible force field for me. There's just something about it where I'm never just, okay, this guy is in such command, or he's clearly going to do this or do that. Part of it is after they played Texas, they didn't play anyone really until Indiana. You lose that game, you lose to Miami, and both of those, your offense isn't particularly good. You're gifted the fact that you have just first-round wide receivers everywhere around you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And you have an incredible, setup with Ryan Day. Like, there's that too. I am genuinely interested if things change with Arthur Smith and to what degree they change. Like, offensively, is there a little bit more happening with their,
I think what they have decided to do as a program is hang their hat on defense.
Oh, and they should, because more often than not, like it's kind of incredible, because for every offensive lineman and wide receiver that get drafted in the first round from Ohio State, defensively, they're almost always just,
oh my God,
there are 11 guys out there, like basically day 1, day 2 picks in order to be a starter at Ohio State.
Yeah.
Which is kind of incredible.
As first round draft picks across the board.
And I don't think that's a bad way to go about it either.
I don't think so either. Like, and it reduces your now it probably lowers your ceiling ever so slightly, at least at the level that they want to play at, like they don't have this all time.
But it also allows you to win a championship with Will Howard, where I'll be the first to admit, like, Julian Sands probably a better quarterback than Will Howard. But Will Howard, there was an element to him that it just felt like it worked in a way that Julian Sands feels like it's mechanical, and it, like, when it shorts out, it shorts out.
That's interesting. And he's not as talented as some of the guys that have come through, like
it does feel like it's a drop, from the high end of Ohio.
Of course,
State.
like Urban Meyer, and then post Urban Meyer, like immediately post Urban Meyer. Obviously, they're going in a little bit of a different direction. But I also think it's not like some of the conversation is just straight up not fair about him. Like, he's a young player who I don't, for whatever reason, and he's the Ohio State quarterback, and for whatever reason we talk about him like we don't give him the benefit of the doubt for some reason. Like, you just use the, you just use the, he has really good wide receivers as like a crutch for him. Like he can only deal with what he's got.
Sure,
and some of what they're trying to do on offense. I think it's a great question, and honestly, I'm sort of fading that idea this year, like, because I think he's a good player. And I think he still has room to grow too. And I think you're going to see him like actually win some games for Ohio State this year.
I would imagine another element of it is there's just no dynamic element to the run game from him at all.
And he doesn't
that in itself cuts into sort of the mystique of a college quarterback.
And he most certainly does not have an exciting like personality either.
He does not.
He's not a huge guy or anything like that. I mean, he kind of seems bland on paper, but at the same time, he's got the keys to a pretty good deal over there at Ohio State. So there is the setup. We'll touch on that as we go on throughout the rest of the show. Ohio State is your Big Ten favorite, according to the conference's media this year. That sets the tone for Big Ten Media Days starting tomorrow in Chicago. We'll take a quick time out. We'll come back with our man of the weekend up next on 1620 The Zone.
Good luck with that, Dan.
Now you're a man! A man, man, man! Now you're a man! A mounty, 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 man, man, man! You are now a man, you're a man! Now you're a man!
I was telling Schaefer during the break, I kept refreshing the Cleveland.com poll to make sure it wasn't an error on my part that they put the freaking media poll behind a paywall. What are they doing? Just to immediately be aggregated by the aggregators. Incredible. Great stuff.
Not everyone understands how to utilize their online platform.
Put whatever you want behind a not whatever you want, obviously, behind a paywall, but yeah, I get it. You got to put stuff behind a paywall. It's a subscription-based service, but my God, I mean, this is a news story that is information that is culled from other reporters around. It's not even really original content in its own right. Nobody in their right mind is subscribing to the newspaper. They will actually grow more detest of the newspaper based off of them being paywalled immediately by clicking on this one story. I can't believe that. Great job by them. Our man of the weekend, the opposite, whoever runs the Cleveland Plain Dealer at Cleveland.com. And the opposite of that for me is Salvador Perez. Now the all-time Kansas City Royals leader in home runs, hitting his 318th in Detroit on Saturday. The place and around the same area of the ballpark where he hit his first. He is an all-time Kansas City Royal. He passed George Brett, who was not necessarily known as a home run hitter, but did have 317 in his career. He has won a World Series. He has won a World Series MVP. He is responsible for the single most important hit in franchise history, potentially.
Ooh. There's nothing in 85 that could rival it.
I mean, they won Game 7 like 100-0.
True.
You know,
True.
It's actually, I just made that up on the spot, but I kind of believe it now.
There really couldn't be much pushback from those of you that got to revel in it.
But he has stayed for 15 years, and he's been a friend to Kansas City and a fan favorite, obviously, with his infectious personality and his smile and all those different things. And now he has the home run king attached to it. 318 of them. Congratulations, Salvi, one of the best Royals of all time.
Yeah, it's nice for him, given how just like rough the year as a whole has been.
I mean, yeah.
And so, it's light at the end of the tunnel. Is it possible this is his last year?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, good way to go out then. How many do you think he closes at? You got a number? Can you get to 325?
What's
Is it
today?
8 more home runs?
Yeah. Yeah. He could hit 8 more home runs. What's he got? Like 20, low 20s now?
For the season?
Yeah.
15.
Okay.
We would give him low 20s, though.
Yeah. He could hit 7, 8 more, something like that. I mean, he hit the tying one and the go-ahead run for the franchise record within a 2-day span.
Right. Yeah. No, there's definite power there.
He got
no question about
that over pretty quickly, but he does swing at everything.
He does swing at everything.
That's not why he's my man of the weekend, though.
He's your man of the weekend because he now stands alone.
Number 1, baby. And I want to talk about how he's hitting like 198 this year.
He's past the Mendoza line.
Oh, yeah, Mike. Good one. Over Gordo's 2015 World Series Game 1 homer. That's probably the single most important hit in franchise history.
You would never
It's
know
close.
it if you listened to the radio call where it sounded
Come
like
on.
the most
Let me
boring home
Royals
run
talk.
ever hit.
I can't believe what you're doing right now.
No, it was an amazing home run. It was an
But
amazing
you
moment.
have to trash Salvador Perez and you have to trash the
I'm not
Royals.
trashing
You have to
Salvador
trash
Perez.
Danny Matthews.
Who's trashing
Sad.
Salvador Perez?
You did earlier. You were like, well, it hasn't been a very good year for him. I know. He's 100 years old and he's
I
caught
said it was a good
3,000
moment and a
innings.
bad year for him.
He has had a terrible year. Everyone knows this. Why does it need to be mentioned? It doesn't. He's the all-time leader in home runs. And don't talk about Danny Matthews that way. How dare you.com.
The only person I was trying to trash was Denny Matthews' home run call.
Stop
I'm sure
it.
He's a great person.
He's awesome. We love him. Who's your man of the weekend? I hate that guy.
You hate 21-year-old Jackson Koivu, who just won his first PGA Tour event in his second PGA Tour start.
His name is Jackson.
His name is Jackson. 21.
Give me a
I know
break.
it's a shock.
Everybody's named Jackson.
He managed to hold off Scotty Scheffler in an event where he shot a tournament record 28 on the back nine on Saturday, went 10 under on Saturday, shooting a 61. He wins the tournament by 3 strokes over world number 1, Scotty Scheffler. Again, second tournament he has ever played as a professional. Previously was a Auburn, I almost called him Eagle because of War Eagle, Auburn Tiger. This guy, like, absolutely incredible performance. Like, what, 26 under and then holding off Scotty Scheffler, bogey-free round on a
good.
Sunday. It is definitely looks like somebody who's going to be talked about in golf for a long time.
Wow. Is he the next Tiger Woods?
Doubt it.
No.
Most people aren't.
Okay.
But could he be Colin Morikawa good? Probably.
All right. Awesome. I look forward to barely talking about him for the next 20 years. Joey, what do you got?
I had to scramble for this one. You're going to be shocked for my pick for man of the weekend. It's going to be Morgan Wallen.
What?
He twisted his ankle on the first night of his show at the Big House, and he was able to kind of pull off a good show, and then he was able to return the next day hobbled up from his nasty twisted ankle. There was a picture of that from his walkout, and you could see how
Oh, yeah. He does
badly
the
turned it
walkout. Have
was.
you seen a Morgan Wallen walkout?
You know the answer to this.
No, I haven't seen that.
Thank you, Dana.
I know. But he does this thing where he like walks out of the like
with random
like he's a
celebrities,
football team. and he's got the music playing behind him.
Definitely don't
like,
hate it.
He's like walking like this, and stuff like that. Like it's kind of weird.
Pretty much.
Does he slap a sign that says "Play like a champion"?
He's slapping everything. Yeah.
So how did he turn his ankle? Did he like get really into his?
He's pretty
show?
active.
Okay.
Yeah, he's pretty active concert
Okay.
guy. I think.
So you just
he is. Yeah, he just had he had a bad footing at that time.
okay. Bad footing at the big house.
Yeah.
Maybe they need to get grass.
Was he not on the stage?
Get a natural grass surface on the stage. Cody writes in. He says, "How did Connor not give it to himself for a great golf outing and the Champions Dinner?"
And the
Great
corn
question. I am humble.
Famously home.
The corn dogs were a
They
hit.
were a hit?
They were a hit.
Unsurprised.
Good.
The grilled corn dogs were a hit, as they regularly were. And but I did not win this weekend. But I did survive the inferno that I was in yesterday or Saturday.
Did you win in the casino?
I didn't win there either.
Dang.
I lost everywhere,
Sad.
but I won in friendship, which is I had a lot of that this weekend.
Good for you.
All right, those are our men of the weekend this weekend. We will take a quick break and come back 7:00 hour on the other side on 1620 The Zone. It is 7:00 here on this Monday. Happer and Schaefer, Connor Happer, Mike Schaefer, Joey Warcola with you. It's already up past 80 degrees. It's going to be hot today. So I don't know. Stay cool.
Good luck with that, Dan.
You guys know that. Don't mow today, maybe, unless you really, really have to. Don't play golf unless you really, really have to.
I get to.
Mike Schaefer really, really has to.
Well, I guess.
He really, really has to.
Someone's like, hey, we need a fourth person for this event. And I'm like, sure. And then 2 weeks pass, and now it's going to be the hottest day of the year.
And so this is your first time back on the proverbial or actual cart?
Well, no, because I did ride in the cart
Okay.
after the incident went down because the cart was fine.
You didn't get the willies or anything?
No, I made a 20-foot par putt, and everyone celebrated like it was just an amazing accomplishment after
Wow.
everything happened. So,
Wow.
yeah, so there was that. But
They should give
no,
you a
I'm
little-
assuming I won't be allowed to drive today, which I'm good with.
First round back.
Yeah, it will be. I don't think there'll be any PTSD. I hope not.
Oh,
Well, Morgan Wallen did not have PTSD when he walked down
that's
the
true.
big house the next day.
That's true. One time I got hit by a line drive in the throat, and I pitched
Ooh.
in a baseball game 2 days
that's
later.
incredible.
I don't know how I did that. I was scared though.
Oh,
I had the flinches for like 2 weeks.
I had the bill broken of my hat because the ball went like right off the front of my hat. once.
Terrifying.
And that it took a while to like, okay, I can throw a pitch and not think I'm gonna die after the next one. Never got hit in the face or the throat or anything.
Yeah.
Legs, sure, but that's
a
a
minute.
totally different.
So you're gonna be watching the terrain extra close.
I don't even paying attention.
We'll see. We'll see. All right. 7:00 hour. Yes, it is. It is indeed going to be warm out there today. So make sure you stay hydrated, folks out there. And as we get ready for football season, that'll be an extra important thing. By the way, speaking of golf, the 1620 The Zone Golf Tournament is right around the corner, just in a few weeks. Friday, the 21st of August at Miracle Hill, with a shotgun 8:30 start. It is 1620 The Golf Tournament. Of course, you could register your team now at 1620thezone.com, $400 for a 4-player team. Of course, you get all of the things you'd get with a golf tournament, 18 holes of excellent golf player gifts and complimentary food, beverages, VIP access to the after party at the Phoenix. We'll be there starting at 6:00. I cannot wait to see where we're broadcasting from. I assume probably just to the clubhouse. I hope that it's not 150 degrees that day, but we'll be out there no matter what, and a chance to win 10 grand if you're knocking a hole in one on the par threes, courtesy of Langfelt Overhead Doors. 1620thezone.com. Register your team right now. It's brought to you by Cutwater and T-Box. I came up with this idea yesterday because I was reading Chattel's column about how to stay away from the extremes. And by the way, I don't think anybody's going to have any problem staying away from the extremes regarding predicting Nebraska's season this year.
Shouldn't.
I really don't. I don't even think there's we've said it all off season. Nobody's going out on a limb for Nebraska. And I don't
Certainly
think,
not positively.
and I don't think that very many people are going out on a limb negatively either. Unless you're
I mean, I haven't seen any 3-9 predictions
Yeah.
from anyone of
people that matter.
Yeah, I wanted to stop short of saying exactly like that, but basically non-YouTube commenters at this point.
Oh, the YouTube commenters are
message board
saying
people.
3-9.
Well, there's definitely people in there that expect things to go poorly.
Yeah, I guess so.
Charlie said it was going to be a bumpy road for the first 3 games.
Those were the 3 that seemed like the most gettable.
Can you drive down a bumpy
Hey,
road?
look, I was
You
talking to a buddy of mine this weekend, and I was the same stuff comes up. It's like, what's the season going to look like? And the start of the season comes like, he's like, I'm not quite sure about Ohio. I'm like, I think you're going to be okay. I think we're going to be okay against Ohio. I don't know. She's like, I don't know. I'm not so sure.
I've been
It's
really
they're
bullish on that they're
24-point
going to win
favorites.
by 17 and all. And I feel like I need to go higher.
There's
an element of this to me.
There is a little bit of a pressure, I think, that is going to be there at some point because they really have to win their first 5 games. They really have to start 5-0.
I think the pressure starts at game 4 when you play more comparable talent.
Right.
But even then, you're getting a Michigan State team that is sort of all being pulled together this offseason. So they're in a more unique spot than certainly where you're hoping to be with one of the teams returning the most players. Whether those players are good or not is always up to debate. But
Right.
You return a lot of production. Nebraska has to be able to try to make that work.
Yeah, so there will be that stuff that comes up throughout the start of the season and all those different things. But like I said, I don't think very many people are going extreme one way or the other on Nebraska football. So I wanted to think back of how we got here. We seem kind of set in our ways right now, right? It's just stuck. Like we're anchored down. If you were out on Matt Rhule, then you're out on Matt Rhule. If you're in on Matt Rhule, you're probably in on Matt Rhule. If you're in between, it's going to be hard to move it one way or the other, right? I think they have an opportunity, should they start 5-0, for another opportunity against Indiana. And then the season goes on, obviously, after that. So these games happen every once in a while, and maybe a couple times a season. Maybe you don't really get one during a season. Maybe you get so set in your ways. So I thought that we could make a list today. Top 5 games that moved the meter so far in the Matt Rhule era, the defining games of the Matt Rhule era. How'd we get here? This game made me think, ooh, I'm just not sure that this guy has it. This is something that you can do and that I have seen done a lot after a coaching staff gets fired.
Sure.
It's like, when did you know? And this is not designed to be that. Like, this is not that, because we don't have a complete picture right now. But
Purdue 2019.
That's when you knew on Frost.
That's when I had the strongest inkling that this felt like it was going to be a problem. When you played a team that much less than you, and you had every opportunity to be up 24-0 in the first quarter.
People always ask, like, when were you out? And I'm always like the latest guy to be out on something.
And that's not to say that like I was out. That's when it was like, okay, they
might not have it.
It went from maybe this is where the guy who flips it in Nebraska wins at a really high level to maybe they can just win 7-8 games a year. Like, that's when it flipped for me in that regard.
Have we reached that point with this staff?
I don't think that, well, part of it is that the longer that you go without winning at a high level, the harder it is to envision that you're going to go back and winning at a high level. So start there. I still feel like very much with Matt Rhule, getting to the 10 wins feels like that's sort of where the peak of it could be at right now. But that's also part of it is the conference that you're in, everything. You'd have to be at that level for a while for me to think that you're going to break through to the 11, 12, whatever.
Yeah.
Unless it's.
No, I've said it before. I don't think that
we've talked about this.
I don't think that Nebraska is going to, break through really all that much under this staff. Now they're breaking through. There could be stages and levels of that. But anyway, that's a separate topic for a different day. So I came up with 5 games, and I think these 5 games have shaped how I feel about where we sit today in the Matt Rhule era. I begin in 2024 with the Illinois game, right? The overtime game. I think everybody was sort of like, I was thinking about this sort of lead up the other day. Obviously, you had the Illinois game, and that was an opportunity to break through on the ranks. I think they were ranked number 24 at the time. It was an opportunity to break through on the rank streak, right? To get over sort of that hump a little bit. And then as the season went on, it started to become clear that Indiana was going to be a real player. They were going to be a real threat. And so Nebraska had a nice little road to potentially start 7-0, I believe it was that year, leading into the Indiana game, which became a whole nother disaster in and of itself and may be mentioned on this list as we go on further throughout it. But they weren't able to get there because they weren't able to finish on the Illinois game. Obviously, the missed pass to Lindenmeyer in the back of the end zone, and then another disastrous overtime. I think that ranked streak was hanging in the balance, and it was served up on a silver platter for Nebraska to be able to break it that day. And they couldn't take the layup. They couldn't get or a free throw, whatever basketball analogy there is. They couldn't get it done that day, and I've forever had that in the back of my head.
Yeah, it definitely stands out as a game in which you took on a team that sort of sits in the space where I think Nebraska has to build itself to, where they vacated that space. I mean, they kind of had largely been sitting in that area of, you're not Ohio State, you're not Penn State, you're not Michigan, but at least you're here, in the older version of the Big Ten. kind of that space. Now you add these teams out west. You continue to lose to Iowa. Suddenly now you're losing to Illinois. Like you're just ceding that ground and falling further back in conference. So this one adds to that. It certainly stands out as, you're right, the opportunity to end the overtime streak or to end the ranked streak if you did it in regulation. And they had the lead to win this game, gave up the game-tying touchdown with what was the best part of your team defensively, and you get the ball back and they're not able to do anything with it. They couldn't go down and score. So it adds to the element of, prior to last year, Nebraska famously for about a decade did not go and win games, when trailing very often. And so all of that just added into it, and it felt like you just gave this game away at home. 2024
Colorado. This is a good one for the most part. Although I do think the whole picture of the game has certainly added to the lore, I guess, of this game in the Rhule era. And remember, there's only been 38 Matt Rhule games. Like they're 19 and 19. And there was a few on this list that I'm like, ooh, that didn't help or didn't hurt either. But I do think answering the bell and really manhandling Colorado right out of the gate with all the energy and momentum that you had coming out there, blitzing them right away, going up 28-0, absolutely was a pivotal moment for this coaching staff and showed their ability to, like, all right, we can turn it on for the big one, and we can physically kind of control teams when they're not up to the snuff. I also think the second half fade is a part of this. Whenever we talk about the 2024 Colorado game, it's like, yeah, that night was really awesome and it was really fun, but I really didn't enjoy much the second half at all. Nebraska didn't really score.
They just had them called back. It was like the Ja'Cory Barney plays would come back. So
unfortunately, those don't count.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's one of those where it's like you have this 70-yard play and then it just doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And you have to overcome that too.
So
one, you can't make the penalty, and then two, you still need to be able to go score in the second half.
It was a night that just could have been this, this letting loose, this all-out celebration, like similar to what it was in 2015 against Michigan State. And it didn't beat the caliber of team that you beat that night, but the same sort of feeling, like you won and you really beat down Colorado and you finally got them, and you don't play them for a while and all these different things. And it just didn't. It didn't feel like that night, and there was something left on the table for that. So I think that game is influential in sort of my mind and how I feel.
It's definitely influential as it's sort of the peak of I guess it'd be the peak of sort of 2024, if you would. Like, you're like, all right, this is a team. This is finally coming together. Second season. You just beat down Colorado, who goes on to have a great season, by the way. Like, Heisman Trophy winner. They finished top 25. They weren't top 25 at the time, but it doesn't count as a top 25 win because we just make up that stat as we go forward with it. But it's one of those things where it's like it's easily the best team that they have beaten under Matt Rhule. Like, there's not even like a close second in my mind. And so it certainly stands out as like, okay, this is what it looks like when it's good. But to your point, it stopped being good roughly about the time that Ramir Johnson snatched that ball out of the air to score the touchdown right before the end of the second quarter.
Yep.
So, which cuts into a whole host of, hey, is one of the deficiencies with the Matt Rhule staff that they can't seem to make second half adjustments? Yeah, you can get
it's all part of that.
Yeah,
it's all part of that. And I'm glad you mentioned the Ramir play because I forgot about that. It even got down to there was this conversation about, did they get any of the bounces or they get the good, whatever it is. They were getting some good luck that night as well. It was just like everything was kind of going your way, and they had the confidence and the energy to sort of show that.
Yeah, how many missed field goals they had in 2024?
Oh,
it's one of those things that's just like, I'm going back through these box scores, and I was talking about the Illinois one. I forgot, like, after the Lindenmeyer, like just outside of his reach, is a missed 39-yard field goal. Like, just completely have
who missed it?
John Hull. And
John Hull.
It's one of these where it's like, I can't even remember if he missed it or if the snap was so bad that the attempt to kick it was just meaningless,
No, I think he just missed it.
Yeah.
I think he just missed that.
I think it pulled left, if I could recall in my brain. But then I'm looking here at the Colorado game, and what do you know? In the second quarter, Nebraska misses a field goal.
Was it him too? Was it John Hull?
This was a 32-yard Alvano miss.
Tristan Alvano.
Touchdown!
All right, so the number 3 game for me is 2024 Indiana. That one still hangs in there a little bit. Completely collapsed, out executed, out everything. I give credit to Indiana here. It's the only. I mean, it could be higher on the list, but obviously it turned out Indiana is very good, and they're starting on their road of being a machine, and they had something to prove, and all those different things. And that's the reason that the game isn't higher on this list. But Nebraska got outclassed, out executed, out everything in that game, and then at a certain point rolled over.
Yeah.
Right, like you lost 56-7, and they couldn't do anything about it. And I'm like, and I'm thinking, ooh, this is not. Maybe you lose this game today, but not like this, So this one hangs in the mind.
Oh yeah, no,
it's a lot of it is it's not how you lose, it's about how. And that is a consistent theme in a lot of these games that we're going to talk about.
For me, it's hard to zero in on just the Indiana game because that's part of this 3-game stretch that I think really encapsulates the annoying aspect of what has happened with Nebraska football under Matt Rhule, where you come out of they're 5-1 at this point in time. Yep. You've lost to Illinois. That's your one loss. We just talked about that. You're 5-1. You go to Indiana. You completely just no-show. Like, I don't even know how else to explain it. You no-show, and Indiana's just better, like clearly better. You could see it early in the game. They executed better. Everything they wanted to do, even on their 3rd and shorts or 4th and shorts, you're watching Ty Robinson get blown out of the hole and spun around by the center from Indiana. And it's like, what am I watching? So that all happens. Very next week, they play Ohio State. And the expectation after you lose by 49 points to Indiana is that they're going to get the absolute crap kicked out of them.
Yeah, it may have been an all-time low.
And then they get their single best defensive performance of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Can't turn it into a win, but it flips you around where it's like, okay, there's something with this team. Maybe it was just a really bad day in Bloomington. Matt Rhule, it's the only time he's been blown out at Nebraska so far. The game that follows after that is a home game against UCLA in which you don't show up again.
Awesome.
So that 3-game set, like, always stands out to me as like what this team, just this roller coaster of what you are at all times. Like, at some point, is there going to be this level of, when we talk about culture and stability and all of this, you don't see it in terms of the play, and you didn't see it in 2024. You just had to ride this roller coaster.
So would you like to add that? Would you campaign to add that game to the list? The UCLA game?
It's just hard because
I agree with you.
I think the UCLA game stands out more to me than the Illinois game, because it, in the same way that the first game on this list that I think everybody knows is coming, stands out.
Number 1, Number 2, I want to talk about.
Losing to Illinois in the moment, I didn't think it was as bad as people made it out to be. Now it's what you forfeited by not beating a ranked team, by having another horrendous overtime, by not making the field goal, by not getting the game-winning drive, all of those, by not getting the stop. All of that still stands. Not showing up at home when bowl eligibility is on the line against a UCLA team that had nothing to play for.
I like that case.
And you looked horrible while doing it, I thought was the lowest point of the 2024 season.
I like that case.
Even lower than this Indiana game that's on this list as well.
Number 2 for me, and so we could combine this and really figure it out. But number 2 for me is the 2023 Illinois game. This is a positive one. Like,
this is coming off of Michigan.
Coming off of the Michigan disaster, short week, and you got to go play there on Friday night. And Rhule says we're practicing on Sunday because I did not like how it went on Saturday against Michigan. They didn't score until.
But they didn't know that Connor Stallions knew all their stuff.
That is true.
Except Josh Fleeks.
But man,
you didn't see him.
You remember when your boy threw that pass to
Roman
Wilson in the back of the end zone? Yeah. He caught it over Isaac Gifford's head. And I'm like, what in the absolute hell is going on right now? And it was just a disaster all day long. And so
I remember thinking, oh no, the Vikings might like this. That's not what I thought at all.
And then, the next week you got to dig deep a little bit. And it came down to this goal line stand, basically. Riley Van Poppel's in the middle of, and they win that game 20-7. And you're like, damn, that's what I want to see. Like I know this team isn't very good. I know they have a lot of shortcomings, and Heinrich Harburg is going to end up being their. I guess we didn't know that at the time, I suppose, but like it was early. We didn't know what was going to happen at the quarterback spot, but we knew that they were going to be offensively challenged. But man, if they could bring that kind of effort defensively, and if they could be that kind of team, then I'm going to like how this is going to go. There was a lot of stuff in 2023 where I felt like that.
Yeah.
I felt like that for like, I knew what they were trying to do, who they were trying to be. And if they could clean some of the stuff up on offense, I was fully on board with that direction.
Yep.
And it didn't end up going that direction.
Nope.
But I do feel like that is still in there somewhere. The tenets of what they were trying to be in 2023. It's still in there. And so that sits in the back of my mind. And I do think Rhule, this is maybe the biggest takeaway from this. I do think Rhule can motivate.
Yeah.
And I think that was kind of pure Rhule motivation for 2023 Illinois.
So what fascinates me in this exercise as you go through, and like I said, I'm just looking through these box scores to refamiliarize myself. And we talked about this with Colorado, and both of those wins, the only two wins that are going to be on this list, you have a similar kind of thing where it's, okay, Nebraska's up 17-7 at half. Nebraska had the ball inside Illinois' 20-yard line, I want to say 3 times in the second half, came away with 3 points. They fumbled. I think they missed a field goal in there as well, because, of course.
Nice.
Which is to say, one of the things that you can always do when you're doing the, like, dissecting of a football team, you see these similar things pop up over and over, regardless of year, regardless of player, regardless of circumstance. Mm-hmm. And I look at Nebraska in 2025 and we talk about, their red zone, this and that. They had these issues in 23.
That's why people are mad at
the
game management stuff, right. The timeouts. Like that's because it's been all 3 years.
This is where when I get into my okay, even if things break in the right direction, there's still these things about Matt Rhule that you have to be able to overcome, which is, to me, they have to get the players to overcome it. I don't know how. The only way you can get past the bugaboos of your coaches, your Andy Reid, who was thought of entirely different until Mahomes wins 3 Super Bowls,
right?
Is he had Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce to do it.
It helps.
And so, it's just this push-pull of anytime I think they take a strong step forward, I still see the stuff that was happening in 23 that doesn't feel like it's changed at all in 25.
The difference with the Chiefs comp, though, Schaefer, is they knew
Andy Reid was taking teams to the Super Bowl before.
Well, obviously he's really whatever, but you're right. He had kind of plateaued, right. But they knew exactly what they wanted. Yeah. They went out and got him.
This is not
they were we are going to be this, and this is my vision, and we're going to do it. And that's what is lacking right now.
It's basically what I'm trying to get at is I think coaches tend to have I think it's hard to be upwardly mobile past your station. I think you can get to a team to a certain point. And then your DNA as a coach probably limits you at some level.
Sure.
And then the talent that you have on the team can propel you past that. I don't think it's odd that Nebraska has largely been at the same level with 3 different looking teams, because that's the sort of DNA of the coach that Matt Rhule has. That's also why I think they're headed to another season like they're about to have here, because that's kind of where they're at. It's can they get enough around it to exceed past.
They'll leave some on the table.
And so
that's what they have.
And that's where some people come in. Okay, if this is already known to you 3 years in, why do you need to see a 4th? Why would you need to see a 5th? You already sort of just said out loud, if this is where you think that they can be. Mm-hmm. And my answer to that is they're getting more talent every year. So I want to see if there's actually this kind of evolution.
Yeah, I don't know what the end of the road is on that, but it's not now. Yeah.
So that's why I'm not ready to hit the eject button, because I think their roster each year has gotten more talented. I think it will be in 27.
However, I will not forget about the 2025 Minnesota disaster. When they do something, the next time they do something good, it will simply just make up for the 2025 Minnesota disaster.
Can't make up for it.
I mean, it will go on the path of making up for it, I suppose. We're still in the hole right now. I am it's like your best friend or your girlfriend or wife or whatever just got in a huge fight, right? And you haven't talked for a while. And it's I'm going to need some space. I'm going to need some time. And then the next thing that they do well is extending the olive branch, right? Because I am not over the 2025 Minnesota game. what an abject disaster. No show. And I thought they were over that, and they clearly are not.
No.
And so that's going to be sitting in the back of my mind the next time anything good happens. And that is a problem. This is the number one most influential game in the Rhule.
I don't know that this game will move off of its spot for
Ever.
you. Maybe ever. I mean, and certainly if it doesn't work, it won't move off of the spot, and it'll go back to like this is the unifying. Like, okay, when this happened, it felt like it was going to be hard to recover from this for me mentally. And there's games like that for every coach that you kind of go back and you think of, like the 2007 Oklahoma State game for me.
Yep.
It kind of knew that it was over for Bill Callahan at that point. 2017 for Mike Riley when you can't beat Troy. I always get Troy and
Northern
whoever.
Illinois.
Yeah, I can't for whatever reason. Troy, Northern Illinois, and
Troy was the next year.
Arkansas State. Those three teams all wear similar colors.
Mhm.
Troy, not so much, but I just get them all jumbled because Nebraska plays them a bunch. And then with Scott Frost, I mentioned the Purdue game in 2019, but there's like 7 others that came after that as well. Bo Pelini, I was trying to think of what game that would be. Because Amir sort of saved them from the disaster of McNeese or
South Dakota State was 17-3 in 2010. That was another one.
Oh, yeah. Well, they actually won the game. All right.
Yep.
We'll come back and continue this conversation. I want to hear from you guys. 402-951-1620. We'll be right back. Comment on us. The most influential games for you. What games stick in the back of your mind in the Matt Rhule era, if there are any? Let us know. 402-951-1620. Back after this on 1620 The Zone. Enter online for your chance to win 1620 The Zone's 5K preseason plunder. Stock up on provisions before the start of the season. Improve your game day experience by upgrading your captain's quarters. Cash in on tickets to see your favorite team up close, etc. Enter to win at 1620thezone.com. Brought to you by AG Consulting Group. Once again, 1620thezone.com. So did we settle on the list? Do we want to throw that UCLA game on to the most influential games in the Matt Rhule era, of which, by the way, Matt Rhule is 19-19 over 38 games.
That game, and then like I have a tough time with Iowa 2024 not winning that game. Not, so like another one where it's like you're right there, you have the opportunity to get this sort of signature win and you're unable to do so. I don't know that it needs to be on the list, but it's in the honorable mention.
Would you put the Boston College game in the honorable mention?
I considered putting the Utah game in.
I wouldn't. I don't know. Nothing of the last. Not nothing, but like
I know that's what I ultimately came back to. Yeah.
Feels so far removed from the rest of it to me.
That's what I ultimately came back to. Of like, because I remember the talk before the bowl game last year of like, yeah, whatever. I mean, it was just whatever. The whole thing was just whatever, and so I have to stick by that. Like,
right.
I can't retroactively go back and be like, oh yeah, that meant something. No, it didn't.
I got another one you could potentially mention, the Wisconsin game where Nebraska clinched bowl eligibility.
That I thought about that one.
Game.
Thought about that one.
No, I think if you went out to 10, there's like a handful that we could easily do 10 games. But I think if you leave it at 5, the Illinois game I would potentially bump off for the UCLA game. But I'm also fine leaving the Illinois one as well. Like I don't have like a big, like it has to be. I think they're both need to be mentioned.
Yeah.
A lot of it though is there's so many of the same type of game, whether it's the Iowa 24, USC 25, Wisconsin, Maryland, Minnesota 23. Like they're all right there. It's the same. You have this opportunity for what would be not necessarily a signature win, but an important win to sort of, again, this is where you want to be in the conference. You want to establish this ground that you're in, and you keep losing.
This is where you get the goodwill of the people. Right. This is where you make up for the Minnesota crap fest. Like, even though for some of those the game hadn't happened yet, but like all of the bad juju, like it's really not that hard to get rid of.
Right.
You just need one big one. You just need one big win, and it's a great point.
2 medium ones, and you're 21-17, and you're not 19-19, and you went whatever and whatever.
I'm really glad you mentioned the USC game too. I am not as confident.
That is one that I would be closer to putting on than probably you would be, because again, I felt like they would have won that game had they stayed healthy, but obviously history shows they haven't won that game whether they've been healthy at quarterback.
And that's what I would come back to. It's like, they would have probably found a way to blow it, but it was an opportunity for them to not blow it.
Right.
And so, I suppose from that perspective, you never know what's going to happen, even though I feel like we have like an 85% chance of them knowing what's going to happen in that game. But yeah, I mean, you could throw that game in there too. I wanted to include some good ones, so it didn't feel like it was all bad.
Right. Oh, I think you have to, because
it's not all bad.
Right. And as I've said, like one of the reasons that I continue to think that there's something here is that the roster gets better. I just don't know if it's better to the point to overcome some of the same mistakes that I think are still going to be there.
And I think a couple, like the wins that I included on the list, 23 Illinois and 24 Colorado, I think they both showed this staff's, or maybe I guess Rhule in particular, the trait that I feel most confident in him. And it is his ability to motivate his team. Like
which is so weird, because 25 Minnesota sticks out like a sore thumb, and then 24 UCLA.
I'm not saying I think he has a great pulse on the team.
Right, yeah.
I am saying that I think he has the ability when he wants to really get his team going. Right. And the outside noise obviously plays a factor in this too, but he obviously got to him in 23 prior to that Illinois game, even though it was a pretty big risk. They went in practice after getting slaughtered by Michigan and all that different. Like if they would have lost that game, it could have been really, really bad in 23. And then 24 in Colorado, I think, a lot of that is the outside stuff. But I am confident in Rhule's ability to to get his team going when he needs to get his team going. I don't know if he has his finger on the pulse as much as I want him to, as evidenced by the 25 Minnesota, game. But if there's one thing that I'm pretty sure about, like backs up against the wall, I think they're in pretty good shape. Like I think they're, if it's borderlining on getting really, really bad, it's not going to get really, really bad because I do think they're pretty good in that spot.
Yeah.
I think Rhule can punch out with his back up against the ropes.
Does the end of last season cut into that for you, or is it because of sort of the rest of the circumstance that surrounds it?
Yeah,
You didn't have a healthy quarterback, and your offense was severely limited because of it.
Yeah, what was the game after the USC game?
It was the UCLA game, the
They win
TJ
that
Lateef
one.
game.
And then it's the Penn State game.
I still didn't feel after the USC game, I guess, like that there was a whole lot, quote unquote, on the line. You know what I mean? I obviously they weren't going to playoff at that point.
Sure. It was more of just beating a ranked team because USC was like 23
Well,
at that
no,
time.
if they had beaten USC and then they went out, there's like that discussion.
But after the USC,
right?
game.
So you're talking about sort of the UCLA, Penn State, Iowa, of which you're talking a UCLA team that's bad, a Penn State team that's clearly had their season derailed. Yeah. Iowa is Iowa, and then whatever you're going to get for a bowl game. Right. One of the things is we've gone through this, and it shouldn't just stand out because we've gone through it, but I hadn't really considered as much. One thing that seems evident to me is like Nebraska has a tough time turning things around when they start to pile up like consecutive losses, because they have a streak of 3+ losses in every season.
Yeah.
Right? Which is not a great number to be flouting, because it was 4 in 23, it was 4 in 24, it was 3 in 25. It feels like they do have a problem. Like once you get to that second loss, they're not able to just pull themselves out of that.
2023, they lost their last 4.
Yep.
2024, they lost 4 in the middle: Indiana, Ohio State, UCLA, and USC.
Yep.
25
it was 3.
They only lost 3 in a row to end the season. Nice
what
job.
if they only lose 2 in a row?
Right.
In 2026, is it progress?
Weirdly, like I think that's the situation that they could punch out of. Like it gets bad, but it doesn't get really, really bad. You know what I mean? It doesn't completely flame out. I don't know what the difference is there functionally, but I do like their ability to sort of answer the bell if it's borderlining on getting super, super, super bad. And I guess I can't accurately describe what the difference is between bad and super, super, super bad. But you know
it when you see it.
You kind of know it when you see it, that type of thing. All right. So there you go. Let us know what you think. 402-951-1620 on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. You can call or text that number. We can revisit if you guys have more to add in the 8 o'clock hour. Also, tweeted us on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed at Happen Schaefer. A little dead on the tweet feed this morning. Come on, send us a couple tweets on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed and on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. Connor, Mike, or Joey at 1620 The Zone. .com. We're back with Joey's headlines after this on 1620 The Zone.
Hi, everybody. Howdy, Cowdy here.
All right, 7:48 on a Monday morning. Connor Happer, Mike Schaefer, Joey Warcola with you. Speaking of Joey, our dear friend, who's apparently already racking up the accountabilities for himself, which we'll get to as we finish out the show today.
I'm making up for that by fixing some things on the fly.
Still have to be accountable for your mistakes. Still have to be accountable, even though you've done net positive things.
I'm making ends meet.
You cannot cancel out your mistakes with good deeds.
But
That's right.
I'm still going to acknowledge things that I've done over the weekend.
But that's later. Right
Yes,
now
it's
we have
later.
the headlines. What do we got?
Headline number 1: Arizona State launches influencer degree where students must gain real followers.
Okay, I saw something about this over the weekend. People are talking about this, and I'm interested. I think I'd like to click, but let's see what the second one is.
Second one is Seattle police are searching for 2 men who parachuted from the Space Needle.
Okay, I'm also interested in
Yeah,
that.
this is the problem. I feel like when we get a good one, you get a second good one.
I know, it's the game, huh?
Yeah, it is a game.
How do you, what, I mean, I don't feel like we're going to get much more information on number 2.
We need the headline.
Although
when they find the 2 guys and we learn more about why they perished.
Yeah, can you at least give us that, Joey?
Can you
when
monitor?
they find the 2 guys who jumped off the Space Needle?
I'll pay attention to that.
All right, thank you.
We're going to want daily updates now.
Arizona State has launched a bachelor's degree for aspiring influencers, with students expected to build a real social media account and demonstrate audience growth during the program. The content creation BA is housed within ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication, appears to be the university's course catalog for this year. The 120 credit hour degree prepares students to become an influencer and strategic storyteller by teaching video production, podcasting, personal branding, audience analytics, and social media strategy. The program was approved by the University Senate in March. Its proposal said graduates would be prepared to work independently as influencers and content creators across live streaming, videography, writing, podcasting, graphics, and emerging media. So, I mean, not to be like this guy, but like, why do you need a degree in this?
See, Connor, they're going to teach you the tools that you would not learn on your own.
Oh, I'm pretty sure a lot of people
teach you
have
the
learned them on their
angles
own.
of which to hold your phone so you can catch it just perfectly.
No, they won't. They'll teach you the wrong angles. They'll teach you how to hold your camera vertically instead of horizontally, like you should.
Yeah, well, vertical is the way that they go in the degree.
That's so stupid.
Look,
if they teach you how to hold your camera vertically in this inside of this school, I mean, I don't know what to tell them. Jessica Pucci, senior associate dean at the journalism school at ASU, told a local paper that the degree goes beyond teaching students how to record and upload videos. I don't know any content creator who wouldn't benefit from having world-class faculty whose sole mission it is to help and support your growth as a creator. For the program's final, students will choose a social media platform such as TikTok and create a content and growth strategy and attempt to gain real followers throughout the semester. They will have demonstratable audience growth. They will have a platform of their choice with real content and real followers and a real audience behind them. The curriculum includes courses titled How to Become an Influencer, On-Camera Presence, Introduction to Editing, Videography, Podcasting and Audio Storytelling, Social Media Foundations, and the Digital Audience. They will also study subjects such as media law, like you would in normal regular journalism school. So there you go. You can become an influencer with an influencer degree at Arizona State. Just another reason to go to Arizona State.
So several thoughts here. One, this is the perfect school for this to exist at.
Yes.
I mean, if you were going to tell me that this was happening, this would be a school that it makes a ton of sense for.
Arizona, but here's the problem. Here's the rub with that, Schaefer. Arizona State is a pretty well-respected broadcasting
so
school.
Here's the follow-up on this. Like, there's an avenue where all of this makes sense. Like, when you get past the influencer aspect of it, where is a lot of media jobs right now? They're in content creation. They're not in hard hitting news. You're not going to train people to become investigative reporters at the same clip as there are people that are blending advertising with social media instincts with storytelling. So instead of having your traditional ad campaigns that you would be building out if you were an advertising major, or the traditional if you were a news editorial, which doesn't exist anymore, but when I went to school, like this is just sort of the blend of all of these things. The reason that it's horrifying is that
there's a real school behind it.
Right. And the fact that this is where it's headed. Like this is what it is.
I
It's
want to
PR plus narrative driven content plus engagement.
Do you think
this is what it is?
Do you think that I could become a mentor to one of these prospective students and tell them to wear a tight white t-shirt, show your guns a little bit, and play and do college football takes?
I'm guessing I could connect you to someone who teaches at the college there.
All right, let's do it.
Whether or not they're going to be interested in bringing you on to talk about tight white tees.
There you go. Those are Joey's headlines. They're clearly into a little bit of everything. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back halfway home. 8 o'clock hour up next on 1620 The Zone. Once again, congratulations to the Cleveland Plain Dealer who's been brutally mogged this morning by On3. Brutal mogging alert. We need to have that.
Yeah.
Brutal mogging alert.
Just need a new sounder.
Brutal mogging alert. We need like Jake Paul to voice it or something. I don't know. Who's the voice of the internet these days?
Who is the voice of the internet?
Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
We need Mr. Beast to come on and or do a cameo and make him say, "You've been brutally mogged" on Happer and Schaefer on 1620 The Zone. I don't know how Mr. Beast talks, though.
I don't either. I've never watched any Mr. Beast content.
So the only time I was just remarking to Schaefer during the break, the only time I've seen the actual results of the Cleveland.com poll this morning was when everyone was retweeting the graphic from On3, because no one's retweeting the Cleveland.com actual story from the Big Ten preseason media poll because it is behind a paywall. Now, I'm going to click again because for the very first time 11 minutes ago, the person who actually compiled this, put it all together, Stephen Means from Cleveland.com, tweeted out a graphic with a link, and I'm going to click on the link. And my guess, Schaefer, is that they removed it from the paywall because they've been so brutally mogged this morning by On3. So let me scroll. I am wrong. It is still behind a paywall. Accountability by me, but not accountability by them. So congratulations on those non-clicks, Cleveland.com. Nice job.
Here's the other thing. Like, okay, you put it behind the paywall, but you also released a graphic yourself with all of the information that would be there anyways.
And it looks exactly like the On3 graphic.
Right. Which, here's the thing. How did you allow the On3 graphic to beat you to the punch of your own information?
Great question.
Because the On3 story is 3 hours old.
Uh-huh.
So I have questions about
maybe they posted it on the back end of their website and On3 found it.
Could have
been.
been.
And it wasn't supposed to come out till 8:00.
Yeah, On3 has spies inside the Cleveland.com organization.
Well embedded moles.
Yeah, that could be something.
Nobody writes in. Mogged. What are we, British?
So
this is internet slang.
You were making me wonder, do we think that Mr. Beast is going to be a guest lecturer in the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism?
Yes.
Because that's a graphic I would love.
He would give the commencement speech.
And then his series would be on how to not get mogged.
I don't know if he
be
gets
the mogger,
mogged
not the moggee.
That's the class. That's the lecture for sure. Where are you going up? Well, Mr. Beast is doing his big lecture today.
Mog first, ask questions later. I kind of like just coming up with fake.
Don't be mogged.
Yeah.
Be the mogger.
Be the mogger
in life, for sure. By the way, got a tweet from Sam this morning. Speaking of the Arizona State major that you can now major in, we need them. Can we get a Creighton burner credential? We need them with Metro so we could get a Creighton burner credential, right? You go to a class at Metro or something like that, and you get a technical degree or whatever it might be. But at the end, you get a Creighton burner credential.
Oh,
interesting. It's a big Creighton burner community.
I didn't know this was a thing.
Oh, yeah. You're about to be familiar with them.
How will I
don't know. They might try and mog
They're going to mog me?
They're going to try.
Why is everyone trying to mog me now?
Everyone is trying to mog everyone. That's the world.
Who got mogged today?
That is exactly
Is that going to replace ESPN's top 10? The not top 10, it's just like the people who got most mogged each day?
Probably.
Wow. I am ill prepared for where society is headed.
Well, they're not
I can't keep up.
They're not hiring anybody else at ESPN anymore. They're just giving people more money. They're just giving Stephen A. Smith and Pat McAfee more money and firing everyone else.
It makes
soon enough. It'll just be Stephen A. Smith and Pat McAfee arguing with walls for various audiences.
Who's gonna well, I guess they'll keep the technical people around to run the equipment, right?
Maybe. I mean, seems like they've mostly let go of all those people too.
I don't laugh. Maybe laugh isn't the right word. It would be really funny to me if there was ever a shot of Stephen A. Smith on the set and then the person behind the camera was actually Pat McAfee.
And then they just reversed it.
It'd be great. It'd be really great.
Maybe they could go back to school and earn a degree in content creation from Arizona State, and then they don't need behind the camera people at all.
I'm just waiting for the inevitable masters in content creation, and then I start getting emails and LinkedIn messages telling me that I'm a very qualified candidate for such a degree.
Oh, you most certainly are.
Full Sail is already working on this right now.
By the way, also this morning, North Carolina football general manager Michael Lombardi has been placed on administrative leave.
Oh, talk about getting mogged. Also, a Creighton account just tweeted at me and said mogged.
Good. Oh, which one was it?
Sidelines - Creighton.
Nice. You've been mogged.
I've been mogged.
Make sure you don't mog back or you'll get double mogged.
I will not attempt to mog back. I would only result in mogging myself.
You definitely don't want to do
You
that.
do not want.
Although that could ingratiate you to the Creighton Burner community if you start mogging yourself.
Why do I want to ingratiate myself?
I'm not sure, so they don't mog you.
They're going to mog me regardless.
They probably will. Yeah.
So I'm just going to get mogged.
Yeah.
All right. Here we are.
I'd say stay on the mog train that you're on. Anyway, Michael Lombardi, the Bill Belichick running things at North Carolina continues to get more and more hilarious by the day. I thought we were kind of over this. I thought they were going to stay quiet. And now he's got a 12-year-old girlfriend. Well, I shouldn't say 12. I should say like 24-year-old girlfriend, what she actually is.
Just flip him, 21-year-old girlfriend.
But and a general manager who is now on administrative leave, and we never knew what he did in the first place, and he was always bad at any job he's ever done.
Yeah, nice. The guy who's managed to fail upward throughout his time involved with football, write books about it, tell people how to be a success, and then apparently just treated everybody terrible, which was the word of how things were going at North Carolina last year when there seemed to be a push to have him removed anyways. And he survived until now, in which he no longer survives.
But he's still on paid leave.
Until they find a reason to stop paying.
What's it about? I don't know. Here's what North Carolina says. As is standard procedure with personnel matters, leadership, staff, and student athletes are prohibited from addressing this topic further, and it has no reflection on the merits. So there you go. We don't know what's happening, but something is happening in North Carolina, and that something is not winning football games. All right, we're back. It's 8:00 hour here on Happer and Schaefer. So, who is a bounce back candidate this year in college football, according to CBS Sports? I will list some, and we will get reactions on some of them. Arkansas, Wisconsin, South Carolina, Kansas State, Penn State, Virginia Tech, UCLA, Florida, Oklahoma State, all Power 4 schools who were mostly bad last year for a variety of different reasons, all could be bounce back candidates for this year. Is there anybody that sticks out to you besides your boys from Virginia?
We'll talk about them again. I've talked about them a lot. The one that sort of looking at it kind of makes sense to me. It's also in a conference where you maybe have the most sort of volatility to move around in. I like the hire that they made, bringing in former quarterback Colin Klein, who was helpful for Avery Johnson when he was the offensive coordinator there briefly before ending up at Texas A&M and having some success there. Kansas State seems positioned as anybody to do well in the Big 12, maybe not win the Big 12, but there's no reason that they couldn't win 8 or 9 games.
It's funny with all these schools, like some of them more than others. They have tended to be like kind of hot preseason picks over the years. And I think they're sort of all in the same spot as Nebraska. What I've been saying about Nebraska all offseason is I don't think anybody's going to go out on a limb for them.
Right.
I don't think anybody's going to go out on a limb for any of these teams. Like you're hearing a little bit of Wisconsin, like, oh, well, they could be better than they were last year.
Yeah,
but
and
it
it's
has
like
a limit.
they could get to 6 wins. It's
Right.
not that they're going to go to 8 or anything.
Yeah.
The team that I think has the most, like if you were going to say buzz, and it doesn't count me talking about them, it would be Florida. Like people really like John Summerall. And he had his kind of SEC media debut last week. He got the big boost of Nick Saban basically saying like he really likes this guy and thinks he's going to do great things at Florida and yada, yada, yada. He's at a place that's expected to be successful, though I would point out if you look at everything that's happened post Urban Meyer, it's been kind of its own horrific dumpster fire and has swallowed its own as often as it possibly can. I don't know if John Summerall is all that different. He swears more. People like that.
Yes. Definitely more, the common man, I suppose.
There's like this kind of belief that this is the guy, but they did the same thing for Billy Napier. There was articles written from Florida media like backpatting themselves for avoiding Scott Frost and hiring Dan Mullen. And then that obviously went poorly.
With you. I like they have. It's interesting.
Every guy that they hire, it's supposed to be the next guy.
It's interesting. Like you compare and contrast them with all the different coaches that Nebraska has been through all the years, and this has ended up coming back to bite Nebraska several times. But with each of their hires, they have gone in like a different direction as far as the profile of where the coach is coming from. Right? You went from fiery defensive coordinator, with that background to like older statesman, with an offensive background, back down to young, hot group of 5 coach who, that obviously he had the alum status and all those different things. And then you've gone to kind of CEO, all encompassing, steady leader, type of guy. Like they've kind of gone snip, snap, back and forth. Florida has they've just hired the best group of 5 coach every time.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's weird. It's odd to me.
They kind of have fallen in the pattern, like the initial pattern that you said. And so you go from Urban Meyer to the fiery defensive coordinator, Will Muschamp, and then elder statesman, Jim McElwain. And here's the funny part. He's the best coach at it, statistically out of any of them that they've had. Then you go to the CEO holistic approach, Dan Mullen. Now they're in we're just going to go get the best group of 5 guy with Billy Napier and John Summerall back and back.
But McElwain was a G5.
He was a G5 as well.
He was Colorado State, wasn't he? Colorado State.
Colorado State.
And then
now he's back, or he was back.
Who was the guy after him?
Mullen.
So he was at Mississippi State.
Yep.
So that one's a little bit different.
Right. Well, that's like you did the SEC retread thing. Mm-hmm. Every SEC program is legally required to hire a sitting coach at another SEC program
within like a 20-year period.
At some point in a 25-year stretch. It's part of the bylaws of being in there.
Yeah.
And if you're Auburn and Ole Miss, you just trade them back and forth. LSU's gotten involved. Alabama's gotten involved. They all want to do it.
I am not. I mean, I don't know. I'm totally wait and see on them.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm totally wait and see.
Part of it is this sounds really weird because they've won 3 national championships in my lifetime. They've only had 2 good coaches in my lifetime.
One guy on this list who I am almost positive is going to be better than his predecessor. How about that? Is almost positively now. Not all these schools have coaching changes.
Yeah,
but one does, and I'm almost positive that this guy is going to be better than the guy before him, Bob Chesney.
There is some real Bob buzz out there.
I'm not on the Bob train, but he's going to be better than Deshaun Foster.
So I was talking, our next guest, we should ask him about this because he's got a little Bob buzz going for him.
Oh, he caught some of the Bob breeze.
When I was talking with Tim Verghese about just like other classes that have stood out to him in the Big Ten so far, he was mentioning like what UCLA is doing really stands out. They're picking off some guys that other schools had wanted. There
was like a Bill Plaschke column this weekend. Oh, that was like, I'm in on the Bob train.
Bob Buzz, let's go.
Yeah.
But
the Bob breeze.
It really kind of stands out to me because, if Lincoln Riley doesn't get it going at USC, like if they don't go to the college football playoff, he's gone. And then they're starting their next iteration of whatever they're doing. If Bob Chesney it's not the Kurt Cignetti thing where he's going to go from James Madison and immediately win as many games as what Cignetti does. But if UCLA wins, let's say 7 games.
Yeah. Their win total 6.5.
There is going to be a lot of enthusiasm for a heavy UCLA rebirth.
Be a heavy Bob buzz.
I feel like they have one of those sort of helmet jersey combinations in history where people want them to be good.
Yep.
They want UCLA football to be good.
I definitely prefer them to USC.
100%.
Yeah, I mean,
just never
not
been
even close.
Never been a question for me. Yeah. I have never USC has never seemed cool or any of that. Where UCLA seems effortlessly cool. Will Smith went there in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That's all I needed to know.
Exactly.
So like UCLA, if it hits for Bob Chesney, they're going to immediately be middle of the pack, interesting in the Big Ten.
So he most of where I'm coming at it from, like
he's replacing Deshaun Foster.
Exactly. I just thought they were so bad.
I agree with that.
I just thought they were a lot better. Now they still do have problems, like the money piece and how far are they willing to go as far as the investment is concerned. Whatever. But if he shows something this year, he will find people to buy in. And like you said, it does matter with USC too, and with what they do. So if they find their way to a bowl game or something like that, maybe a little bit above that this year, maybe pull off a win or two. Yeah, there's going to be some Bob buzz.
The opposite of this for me is
it will be blustery Bob at that point.
Blustery Bob.
There'll be some.
I kind of like Bob buzz.
There'll be some Bob bluster.
So the opposite of that for me, where you have a new coach who's in a situation where I just don't think it's going to get better, is Ryan Silverfield at Arkansas.
I know. He'll be fired in 3 years.
I don't know if you saw this. He was responding to being told that the internet believes he has no aura.
So I did see that the internet was telling him that he had no aura.
Yeah.
I didn't see his response.
His response is, I have a hot wife, 2 beautiful daughters. I've had a lot of success in my life, and I get to coach football at Arkansas. I've got plenty of aura. Like,
you can't mog me.
But it was so I don't think Sam Pittman was the answer for Arkansas, but I think he did a lot more there than he'll probably get credit for.
I thought that was like a unique choice that I wasn't mad at, right? Like
Sam Pittman.
Hiring Sam Pittman.
I mean,
this is so unimaginative.
I think there was, people might dispute this because of how it went for him after. I think there was real sort of like, hey, Nebraska stole Sam Pittman from Arkansas, and you bring in this offensive line coach that's a good old boy that recruits really well, that, you put more resources around, because Arkansas's problem is they want to be a basketball school now. Their investment is not with football anymore. They've decided we're not going to be as competitive there.
Correct.
And
which is why they made an unimaginative hire.
Yeah. So we're a basketball school. If you're, there felt like there was some real, hey, if Sam Pittman at Nebraska, that could be really interesting. I don't know what Sam, is he just done now? Did he end up as someone's offensive line coach again?
That's actually a good question. I don't know. I didn't.
He's old, but he's not he's 64.
I'm going to have me one of them cold beers.
Yeah, I like Sam Pittman. He just seems like he's the kind of guy.
I like it because he said I wanted to have cold beers.
Well, but also he just seems like a guy that he's just a football guy.
Definitely.
He talks about cold beers. A less out there version of Ed Orgeron, just someone that knows football at a fairly high level.
Yep.
And I just don't see Arkansas getting better with Ryan Silverfield and his no aura. I don't know how it's going to work for him.
No. It's not the aura for me. It's just a totally unimaginative.
The aura doesn't matter to me either. It's just that they don't seem like they're committed to winning.
No.
And that's a hard place to be.
Obviously, yes. And then there is your fine folks there's the whole Penn State Virginia Tech saga, which will be tied to each other forever, of course, for a while, for sure. I can't go out on a limb for Penn State this year. I won't. And I don't think there will be many folks that will. And I can't go on a limb for Virginia Tech this year because I'm not sold on James Franklin.
I'm on the limb, baby.
You're on the limb. That's your one on this list. Are you on the limb for Mestemaker and Morris? I
think they're going to be good. I don't know. The Big 12's hard.
They were so surprisingly, shockingly bad for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
Well, and he brought a whole North Texas team with him. So it's the Big 12, everyone agrees that Texas Tech is at the top of it. And then it's kind of like BYU, Houston. And then after that, there's just a grouping of teams. Could Oklahoma State be the 5th best team in the Big 12? Absolutely.
Sure.
I think this feels like another similar to kind of UCLA. There's another one where it feels like it wouldn't be a surprise if there's just success right away for this coach.
Yeah.
At a new spot. So I agree with that. I'm bullish on Virginia Tech because I think they've really had a big offseason in terms of adding talent. They added a lot of those Penn State players. I think James Franklin is an elevator as a coach. The question is, how high can he elevate? And at Penn State, it wasn't high enough. However, nobody really seems to remember,
he did Vanderbilt.
Lee, they were very good at Vanderbilt, very good. Yeah. And so we'll see how it goes.
Before we get to Tim here, where we'll ask him about the Bob Buzz that we've been hearing.
Buzz.
The Big Ten, all Big Ten team for the Athletic. Scott Docterman assembled this over the last 24, 48 hours here, put this out on the Athletic. Were there any preseason first teamers from Nebraska? The answer to that question is yes. Justin Evans gets the nod on the as an interior offensive lineman, the Athletics first team. And there was another. Ja'Cory Barney is the return specialist on the team, on the first team in the league. It's so hard with an 18-team conference. Surprisingly, Schaefer, you're going to love this. Julian Sayin, first team quarterback over Dante Moore.
Okay.
And Jade Mayaba.
We're just gonna.
It's incredible.
We'll go Julian Sayin over Dante Moore.
I thought Ohio, because if you have missed this from earlier, Ohio State was favored as the preseason number 1 team by the conference's poll that came out and was brutally mocked about a couple of hours ago. But Ohio State is the favorite there too. I kind of thought we were over I'm just going to default to Ohio State.
I did too, because I think it's clear that Oregon has more talent.
Not that they're not a national championship contender, and not that they're not like a top 3 team in the league. Everyone knows that. But I just kind of thought we were over, like, yeah, let's just give it to them. I mean, the other team, like you said, just won the national championship. And the other one, Oregon, is like a national championship favorite this year,
and they
too.
spent a lot of money in the portal.
Yeah, I that's kind of odd, but everybody's just going to Ohio State.
Hey, did you know there's a Nebraskan on the first team list?
Let me look. Yeah, Cade Piper.
Yeah.
There you go.
I kind of forgot about that one.
Very nice. And then, of course, some more names that you have heard of as well. On the second team, hilariously, Kenneth Williams is the return specialist on the second team. That's former Nebraska Cornhusker Kenneth Williams, who now plays at Michigan State. But nobody on the second team for Nebraska. This is from the Athletic, by the way. On the third team, Kyle Cunanan, Nebraska's kicker, was able to make it onto the third team. So not a whole lot of Nebraska love outside of for Justin Evans.
Yeah, Justin Evans, again, I think this is a guy that people have noted has been really good. And it seemed weird whenever we'd have conversations, and it's like, well, who's the best player on their team? It's like, well, it's their center. He's got the best chance of being an all-conference player.
Yep.
I would admittedly be a little surprised if Ja'Cory Barney is a first-team all-conference return man.
I think he's got potential. And
he definitely has potential. I just needed to see it come all
Yeah.
together. I know that Kenneth Williams has potential, and I've seen that come together. And LeVar Woods is a special teams coordinator at Michigan State now.
That should be good.
Kenneth Williams will probably be the first team.
You know what's funny?
Nebraska could use Kenneth Williams basketball.
I guess. I mean, he was fine. He took the one kick back.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the one against Maryland.
That's the one, right?
Well, yeah, the touchdown against Northwestern.
There you
So
go.
he had 2 giant returns there. It's more so just like they could also have used him with their running back room too, especially if Mekhi Nelson is either unavailable or
That'd be true too.
limited.
All right, let's take a break. Tim Verghese is up on the other side. We'll ask him about the breeze of Bob, the Bob buzz that we've heard, and a
Bob Breeze.
variety of other things coming up next on 1620 The Zone. All right, we're joined now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline by our good friend Tim Verghese from inside Nebraska. Tim, good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
We were just talking about someone. Well, Schaefer, characterize Tim Verghese's opinion on Bob Chesney.
I don't know the opinion entirely on Bob Chesney, other than to say that he was impressed by the work that Bob has put in on the recruiting trail so far.
Are you feeling the Bob buzz right now?
So I was very, very confused by the hire when it first happened.
Me too.
He never recruited, he's never recruited on the West Coast. UCLA is a program where you need to have West Coast ties, West Coast relationships. And it's not even just the fact that he hasn't really coached, on the West Coast. Like, I don't think he's coached prior to this, like across the Mississippi River, and so this is a massive change for him. I've been pleasantly surprised by how they have approached the recruiting trail, their strategy in year one, while they strengthen. I mean, again, he's done a good job of hiring assistants around him that do have strong West Coast ties. But his strategy in the interim, I would say the same thing about Mike Campbell. I wrote a story a couple of weeks ago. Did get some critique from Penn State fans, but if you actually read the story, I do give Matt Campbell credit for the same thing. Both of these guys in year one are in areas known for both Penn State and UCLA are in areas with strong recruiting hotbeds in their own backyards. So areas where the previous coach had done a good job of tapping into those roots to varying degrees. Of course, James Franklin had much more success in the Northeast than Deshaun Foster did in Southern California. But with both programs, you have to have relationships. You have to have ties to the area. But I've been pleasantly surprised with what both strategies have been. For Bob Chesney and that UCLA staff, they've done a really good job of assessing the national field, assessing the national recruiting landscape, and figuring out where they can find edges, where for them a market value level offer is enough for them to go into a recruitment like a Jackson Roper, a four-star offensive lineman who was wanted by Texas A&M, who was wanted by Oklahoma and Oregon and some of these programs, but wasn't necessarily at the top of their board, and so he was, the offer that was out there for him was relatively a discount offer. And so UCLA can go in there with what they believe is a market fair offer and be the highest bidder in there and get that recruitment. They were able to flip Jerry Outhouse from Georgia because that's a four-star DB who's taking relatively a discount relative to his ranking to go play at a place like Georgia. And then, UCLA rolls in with an offer that they believe is market value and build some relationships there. So they've done a good job of doing that. And then obviously on Penn State's end with Matt Campbell, they've tapped into their prior relationships, the recruits they found early in their time at Iowa State across the Midwest to maintain that presence in the Midwest while developing and growing their presence in the Northeast. So for both of these programs, you have to be calculated taking over both of these jobs to have success. Been pleasantly surprised with how both of these staffs have approached the first couple of months of the job.
Does Ryan Silverfield have aura?
I don't think so, unfortunately. I do think that's not to say he can't have success, but I don't think aura is the word I'm looking. I think of when I see Ryan Silverfield.
Are you excited about LeBron James going to Philadelphia?
I am. It's the option for me that I feel the least about. I would have hated if he went to Golden State. I wouldn't have minded. Honestly, would have appreciated a return to Cleveland. Wouldn't have minded a return to Miami either. This is the one I have the least feelings about, I would say. At Miami, I was like, oh, that would have been a cool reunion, but I don't know how the spacing of a Bam, Giannis, and LeBron team works. I can see how a Philly team works. I think this is the team that, on paper at least, gives him a real shot to make a run, maybe two more runs. He signed a 2-year deal, but there's no emotional ties here. There's no real strong connection here. This isn't something I outright hate, like I would have, the Golden State move. But yeah. It's weird. It's definitely weird. And I'll say this. I mean, I'm a LeBron guy. I haven't loved it. I think I've talked about this with you, Schaefer. I haven't loved how he's handled the post-championship years. I mean, the post-championship with the Lakers years. I don't think, when we're talking legacy, I think he's been there have been times in his career where I think he's been very aware and hyper aware of his own legacy and making sure he's securing that. I don't know how these last few years are going to reflect on his legacy.
No doubt about it. So, Tim, I want to ask about something that maybe occurred late last week that has some impact potentially with Trey Taylor. It feels like the Ohio State angle to this has really kind of quieted down. They got their quarterback to recommit there. He's not going to end up with UCLA. Was it our guy Bob
UCLA.
that was pursuing him? Yeah. So is there any other threat that you can even envision with Trey Taylor at this point in time?
Yeah, I mean, so first I do want to note on the Ohio State thing there, like, obviously I think everyone knows coming out of his OV where what Trey Taylor has publicly said. There's no indication he's even considering a flip at this point, but that Ohio State noise was loud a few weeks ago. And the reason I noted Brady Edmonds recommitting and affirming his commitment to Ohio State and shutting things down is important for Nebraska is Trey Taylor and his family have noted they're not seriously considering any program that has a quarterback committed. They want to be at a program that's loyal to them and that's loyal to the quarterback. If a program has a quarterback committed, they see that as that program not being loyal to the quarterback they have committed. And so they're not going to consider Ohio State moving forward. Now, that said, there are some programs out there. I would imagine there's some SEC schools that are not going to let up on him until this thing is said and done. A few of them that he's familiar with, I would say. I mean, LSU has a quarterback committed. It's hard to see them getting into the mix. But if something were to happen there, it would not surprise me if LSU were to circle back here. South Carolina is a program that he's familiar with. He knows, and that's a program that I would keep an eye on maybe this fall. Again, but at this point, it's hard to see a program that really makes sense at this point. He's moved to Nebraska. He likes the staff a lot. And again, he said it. Enough people have said it around this recruitment. I believe this. Look, if Matt Rhule and Dana Holgerson are on staff in December, Trey Taylor's going to be here. I don't think there's anything on the field that would prevent that outside of those two potentially moving on or leaving the program. There's nothing that at this point outside of a poor season and or these two, the head coach and the offensive coordinator leaving, Trey Taylor is going to be a Husker in December.
Tim Verghese is with us from inside Nebraska. Tim, looking ahead to Rhule in his appearance at Media Days on Thursday, I was sort of thinking about it from this perspective. When they were sort of assembled for spring ball, and it was Calandria for the first time, and it was the new defensive coordinator for the first time. It was also fresh, and I don't really, it was sort of like, hey, let's throw it out there and kind of see what happens. They didn't know each other very well at the time. Now it's a group of people and a team who's been working together every day for 4, 5, and 6 months. And so undoubtedly Matt Rhule has more information to go off of now and sort of a better feel on the people that he's put around himself going into this season. I wonder what the sort of takeaways from this offseason, I guess, will be, considering the new pieces in the house for Nebraska right now. I wonder if Rhule will sort of shed any light on that on Thursday and sort of how he feels going into the season. It's one of the things I'm most interested in, looking forward to hearing him talk about.
Sounds good. Yeah, I was going to say that. I'm interested in that. I'm also interested in the tone coming out of what's been a different offseason for them. Again, they had that accelerated or the quicker spring, the spring that was early. They've had 4 months or so of OTAs, and it has been sounds like it's been challenging on the guys. It has been demanding. But I think the competition, all of that, it's helpful for building chemistry. It's helpful for figuring out who's at the top. I'm very curious to see what the general vibe is of what he believes this team is coming out of OTAs. I don't know. I mean, we know Matt Rhule at this point, and what media appearances from him are like. I don't know how much insight we're going to get on the new additions, on even if there's hey, who are the young guys or the names we're not really talking about that we should be talking about. I don't know if we're going to hear that from him this week. But I think we're going to get a good idea of his level of confidence in this team.
Yeah, that's sort of what I was thinking about. As I apologize, I rambled and I just asked you. I didn't really ask you a question. So thanks for rolling with me, Tim Verghese from Inside Nebraska. All right, Tim, we'll let you go. Appreciate you taking the time as always, man. Have a good rest of your week.
Thanks, Tim.
Of course, appreciate you guys.
Tim Verghese covering everything from wall to wall inside Nebraska. He's got a story up about Anthony Calandria and how he's excited to see what Nebraska's offense could do from over the weekend. So you could check that out over there. We'll take a quick break. We'll round out the hour right after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, we have a couple minutes, and I want to propose something here. We've been talking a lot about UCLA today, and we've all each individually. Oh, I don't know what Joey's been off in his own world over there today. He's got a lot of stuff going on, but we've each individually felt our own Bob Breeze, the Bob Buzz, the Bob Breeze. It's hit us all in different ways.
Yeah.
And that's for Bob Chesney at UCLA. So my proposal is that we skip the balls and we just go straight to the UCLA page.
I am good with that. That would be page 86 if we want it for record keeping.
Alrighty, I got it on there.
So we'll go right to the outlook.
Come on.
UCLA hired a proven winner in Chesney. He brought both his James Madison coordinators, 10 of their players, and multiple all-conference stars to jumpstart the transition. The staff was also able to retain five-star Nico
Iamaleava.
I have not had to say that name in a while, and I completely blanked on how to say it. Say it again.
Iamaleava. Get ready, radio man. You're going to have to say it.
Well, not really. Nebraska didn't play him.
We'll just put the pronunciation on the sheet.
Upgrade all the position rooms around him. UCLA will bounce back to mid-tier of the Big Ten.
That's what I'm saying. Thank you, Brett. Ciancia.
Brett agrees. Brett's feeling the buzz as well. Here's the schedule. So last year, famously, they lost like every non-conference game right away and looked horrible. They start off with Cal right away. That's a fun first game.
They started 0-4. They lost to Utah, UNLV, and New Mexico right out of the gate. Then they lost to Northwestern. Then they beat Penn State, which was the funniest thing ever.
UNLV and New Mexico were like better than expected group of 5 teams, but still. So they start with Cal, then they get San Diego State, then Purdue, then Maryland. There's a world where Bob is 4-0.
4-0 Bob.
And the buzz is building. And then after a bye week, they go to Oregon before Nebraska plays Oregon. So that's October 10th. Then they have Wisconsin, Michigan State, Nevada. They could have a bunch of wins here. If this is good, they could have a bunch of wins. Then at Minnesota in November, that'll be sort of funny to see on your television. Illinois at home, at Michigan, and then USC.
They could be like realistically like 7-3 going into Michigan and USC at the end of the season.
And that's 7-3.
The Bob Buzz is coming in strong.
And there's like a world where everything breaks right and you're 9-1.
College football powerhouse.
People around here are like, why didn't Nebraska hire Bob Chesney?
I don't know. Maybe we're drunk. Maybe we'll look back on this and we'll be like, you guys were hammered that day.
Yeah, we're instead of Bob Buzz, it's actually Buzz Balls.
Well, let's spin around the Buzz Balls again and see what we get.
Nice.
I'm going to give you 3 numbers. They are 30, 35.
It's hard to read that, by the way, as someone who first.
This is the worst thing I've ever bought. And then 34.
Okay, so 99.
Yep.
Page 99.
So 99.
All sound like good roulette numbers.
That might be
30, 35, 34.
99 is the Big 12 preview page. Do you want me to just read the Big 12 preview page?
Yes, I do.
All right. So basically, he has his top 16. There's 16 teams. Number 1, Texas Tech. Number 2, BYU. Number 3, Utah. Number 4, TCU. Number 5, Houston. Number 5, Ty, Kansas State. 7, Arizona State. 8, Arizona. 9, Oklahoma State. Ty, 9, UCF. 11, Ty, Baylor. 11, Ty, West Virginia. 13, Cincinnati. 14, Kansas. 15, Colorado. 16, Iowa State. My biggest takeaway there, the Lance Leipold enthusiasm is going to take a huge hit if you finish 14th in this conference.
Dwindled.
Yeah, that there was a moment there. There was certainly a moment. Well, he could go back.
He kind of went out on a limb there, taking Houston where he took them. I think he had him 6th.
Yeah, fifth, tied for 5th.
That's kind of interesting. That's a little bit out on a limb for Houston.
I actually think he has TCU higher than the consensus, which is a team that Max Olson has said to kind of keep an eye on as well.
What else is in the Big 12 preview page?
The all Big 12 offense.
Yeah, just give me quarterback, running back, couple of receivers.
Noah Fafita.
Yep, Arizona.
LJ Martin.
Yeah.
Wide receivers are Amari Thomas, old friend of Marion Miller, and Danny Scudero. Where did he transfer from? That was one of the big additions.
It's a Danny Scudero.
I don't know. I think he maybe came from Sacramento State where Brennan Marion was at. Perhaps that's what it was. But I know that name. I don't know why I know that.
He was a Sacramento State Hornet.
Okay.
And a San Jose State
Spartan.
Thank you. It's like 10 miles.
Drew Messmaker, second team quarterback. Devin Dampier, third team quarterback.
Yeah.
Caleb Hawkins, second team running back. Anything else you'd like to know from the Big 12?
Oh, that's good. That's good conference. Did you see Mr. Big Idea Commissioner Man's Ice Bucket Challenge?
No, he did the Ice Bucket Challenge.
He did the Ice Bucket Challenge.
If he was a really big idea, man, he'd have had all the coaches do it at media days.
I should get the video because he screamed like a little girl.
Oh, no.
when he got the,
Did you ever do the Ice Bucket Challenge?
Maybe.
So
I don't remember it.
I did it, and I had someone shorter than me attempt to do the thing, and he proceeded to pour ice cold water into my left ear, which was then like clogged for a week.
Awesome.
I will not do it again.
He dumped the ice bucket on himself.
Okay.
Mr. Big Idea Commissioner Man, and he still screamed like a little girl. It was like, ah! It was pretty funny. I enjoyed it.
Clearly, Big Idea Man's never done a cold plunge or a polar plunge.
I mean,
or ever been cold in his life.
He really went for it. One more thing here before we take a break. How about this in the Big Ten? Another jersey patch.
Oh,
so Wisconsin's in on Culver's, and Illinois is something less recognizable. Bussy or Busey Bank. That's what they're going. They're going with a bank.
Boom.
I know. You should have gone with what's Illinois? Al's beef?
Al's beef.
Or something like
that's Chicago.
Since there's hundreds of them all
Illinois
over
is
Chicago.
not Chicago's team.
Illinois is the third Big Ten school with a patch deal behind Wisconsin and Michigan State. I don't know what's on Michigan State.
What's Michigan State?
Is it Rocket Mortgage? Like it's brought to you by their basketball team? I have no idea what's on Michigan State's patch this year. Get ready. The patches are coming.
Rutgers should be Jersey Shore.
Jersey Shore or Jersey Mike's?
Michigan
Jersey
State
Mike's.
Federal Credit Union.
Nice. Got to go with the federal credit unions, of course. When we come back, we will get to a few of the headlines that we may have missed in our free balling segment. Michael Bruntz will still join during the show. And our accountability ought to come in the 9 o'clock hour of Happer and Schaefer on 1620 The Zone.
Good luck with that, Dan.
It's time for Free Balling, where the producer reads questions on things happening in the world of sports. Connor and Mike will have the answers.
I like how Joey says free balling. It really it's like
Free
very
balling.
Brian Christopherson of him. Free ball. It's not free balling. It's free balling.
Yeah, there's a real enunciation.
He's
on
going for it, which I appreciate. It's your version of a parody, son. So
It-
you do it however you like.
It is, and there was a lot of energy that
I like the triple chorus that hits after the initial.
It's great.
Yeah.
It really just gets me
it's
just
similar,
right there.
It's similar to the Stibbs Jefferson Starship song for City of the Day.
Stibbs
I
did that
don't-
one.
I don't notice
he
it
did-
as
he did the
much
chorus.
with City of the Day as I do with, but we also hear it now 5 days a week. So
Yes.
it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
By the way,
That is true.
before we get to the
Ooh.
headlines
We have
here,
news?
no, just
Oh.
wanted. Well, I mean, I guess it could be news to you. Did you know
Did I?
that 1620 The Zone is giving away 4 packs of tickets to the Storm Chasers game this Saturday?
I know now.
Well, exactly. Then it's news. They're playing St. Paul at 6 on Saturday, and the Storm Chasers will be hosting an autograph session with Ben Zobrist. Now, this says 2016 World Series MVP, which is technically true, but you could say 2015 World Series champion Ben Zobrist will be in the house on Saturday. You could listen to Unsportsmanlike Conduct for chances to win your way into Werner Park. I would call Ben Zobrist 2015 World Series champion.
I call him things I can't say on the air.
Joey, what do we got?
Okay. Speaking of our guy Baker Mayfield is listed by The Athletic as the Tampa Bay Buck with the most to prove this season. The Bucks and Baker are talking extension, but it appears they're far apart as a self-imposed camp deadline looms. Who has more to lose if talks break down and he hits the marquee next month
Not next month, but it'd be next March.
or next March?
Um,
Terrible. at
I probably
reading.
wrote that wrong, so I apologize for that.
So, I mean, Baker's good. Like,
Yeah.
what's up with this? What's going
So-
on here?
I wonder if you're the Bucks and you're like, I can't commit to $50-some million a year to this guy because of his style. He broke down last year.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if like that's what it is. And then if you're Baker, it's like this is your last big contract, so you're trying to get as much as you can.
I suppose.
And you also know if you go to the free agent market, like you're going to get paid. So it's like kind of a fascinating. I don't know which side. I understand where the Bucks come from, but I kind of want Baker to get paid. So,
Yeah.
and I don't want that. I don't want them to break up. It feels good together.
It does feel like
I
a
want
nice
Todd Bowles to go away.
relationship.
I don't need Todd Bowles as part of it anymore.
Do you know how old Baker Mayfield is?
What I see, he's 31,
He is exactly 31, which is not.
but his body might be 38.
That's true, but 31 off face is not as old as it seems
No.
that he is.
But the
It
way-
feels like he was drafted number 1 by the Browns 100 years ago.
Well, there's been a lot of versions of Baker Mayfield.
There have been.
And there once was the Baker Mayfield Index when we did Happer and Schaefer.
He was
And
terrible.
I specifically have changed my opinion on him about 100.
Oh, he's awesome now.
Yeah,
I mean,
I love him.
I don't know how you can't love him now.
Yeah.
Like you said, he's sort of a perfect fit for that team and the way that they're operating. I hope he. I don't need him to stay a Buck though.
Yeah, well,
You
that's the
know?
other, so
Yeah,
then
he's
my
your
mind
threat.
started to wonder, like, wait a minute. What if Kyler Murray doesn't come
Okay,
back?
all right.
What if I get him in Minnesota? This could be great. I'd have a Mayfield Vikings jersey. They go 6-11. It could be fantastic.
He'd be better than that.
No, he would be better than that if he's healthy.
They might even go 9-8.
I think he
9.
could run the Kevin O'Connell system.
Definitely think he could.
Yeah. So I like, trust me, I started thinking about that. when
Just
I wrote
another
this
way
question.
for us to say we are Team Baker.
We
here
are
on-
definitely Team
on
Baker.
this show.
We are.
What else
Joey,
we got?
are you part of the Baker?
Yeah, yes, I
Okay,
just
all
said we are.
right. Okay, I wanted to make sure. I didn't
We
know.
are on the Baker train.
That's a graphic. On Friday, after Happer and Schaefer finished for the week, LeBron James, of course, he announced his intention of signing with the Philadelphia 76ers. Obviously, I stormed into the studio during a break during the midday show to complain with Josh of how Brad Stevens started everything. But what does this mean for the East? Are the 76ers now the favorite?
Yeah.
They kind of have to be.
Yeah.
You add Jaylen Brown, you add LeBron, and yet at the same time, like the East is sort of fascinating to me. You have all of these kind of like interesting but incomplete teams between the Celtics, Heat. You have the Cavs and the Pistons, who played an interesting series. There's a team like the Knicks that just won the NBA title.
Oh, who cares about
And now
that?
you have the 76ers.
You
as
got the
part of this as
Raptors
well.
with Kawhi Leonard.
Plus your guys, the Hornets, who no longer have they don't have LaMelo Ball.
That's
anymore.
right. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Joey, I mean,
Joey mentioned I completely forgot the Raptors have Kawhi if he's allowed to play.
Tyrese Halliburton is going to return to the Pacers after his catastrophic injury, similar to Jason Tatum.
I just want to throw one question at Joey. So Jaylen Brown got traded to the 76ers because he was worried about being in Boston and not wanting to be the second guy, and now he's going to be the third guy?
Fourth guy?
Saying fourth guy. I don't know.
What's up with that, Joey? What's your take on that?
Again, it's Brad Stevens and Bill Chasm buying into what people have been saying for several years about what the Celtics should do with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, splitting them.
Do you think that Jaylen Brown will be okay with this?
Oh, he's ready to play with LeBron. He also had some comments about Bronny James a couple of years ago that LeBron did not like. So I wonder if they kind of settle on with that and moved on.
I personally am really excited to see how many games Embiid and LeBron play together, and I think I'm going to set the line at 13 and a half.
I was going to ask if we should set a line for that.
I was going to ask if Embiid stays healthier this year because the team is interesting.
I mean, this is going to on that side of things. I'm excited to make fun of Joey and his Boston situation.
There's also Josh Hodgson.
I'm also very, very excited to make fun of this when this blows up in flames and they don't win the title.
It's going to be like the
year.
2021 Brooklyn Nets.
It'll be exciting.
Where do the Celtics rank for Josh Hodgson's teams? It seems lower than both the Braves and the Titans.
I think it is.
Okay.
I think it is.
He was visibly upset on Friday.
All right, we got to do a couple more, Joey.
Yes, we do. We talked about Cleveland earlier. Cleveland Browns wide receiver Jerry Jeudy is disputing a viral clip that allegedly shows his preference for the quarterback competition to be Deshaun Watson, which begs a question. Does anyone actually win here?
So he's disputing a clip that he was in?
Well, so he said the clip got doctored to make it look like he was showing four fingers, and I guess there's like a second missing from the video clip to like make it look a certain way. This all makes me laugh because it's a Cleveland Browns quarterback competition, which is just like crap versus crap. Like you're either getting a Shedeur Sanders.
Isn't there a third crap?
Yeah, Kenny Pickett. I think he's on.
Well, I didn't know it was Dylan Gabriel. Is it a fourth?
A fourth crap?
A four-way crap?
Incredible. It is nasty.
Browns depth chart. Deshaun Watson, Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel. They also drafted or free agent signed Talon Green from Arkansas.
Okay.
He's listed as fourth on the ESPN.
Yeah, that guy, he ran around a lot.
He did.
He did.
Yeah, that's the four. So no Kenny Pickett.
I don't know where Kenny Pickett is now.
Where did Kenny Pickett
I
at?
don't know. Or he might. No, he would be in the Philadelphia Eagles probably.
Again?
Or I don't know.
Kenny Pickett is a my Carolina Panther.
Whoa, I might see him. I might see him in October.
This is exciting.
I'm excited.
How many gloves will he wear for that game?
2.
But how thick will they be?
He might double up. He might do 4, 2 on each hand. All right, what else?
We got one more. UNLV basketball coach Josh Pastors starred in a video this weekend, encouraging people who want to own a professional basketball team to just buy the Running Rebels and pay for his players. Is this our future?
He was serious too.
Yeah, that's the thing. It wasn't like a parody video.
He didn't seem serious. So he was being interviewed by an old friend of the show on the Connor Happer show, Taylor Roca, she was in Kansas City, and then I think she went to New England, and then she's now in Vegas. And I saw this clip pop up, and I'm like, oh, he's serious. He was like, don't buy an NBA team and move them to Vegas. Just buy us. And you could buy us for $10 to $12 million.
Right.
And I said, well, that seems a little cheap. And then UNLV the official Running Rebels basketball account said, they put out like a flyer. It's like things you could buy for $10 million, like a Bugatti, like a whatever it is, or the Runnin' Rebels. I mean, that doesn't seem like a lot of money to buy UNLV basketball.
No,
right?
but we'll talk about this story maybe tomorrow, but the NIL story that I had mentioned today, like that's kind of $10 million is like the number coaches feel you need to compete in college basketball.
That could be a good power ranking.
Yes, of course.
So I'm wondering if that's why that's the number that they're on.
Right. And, he says, he's like, we'll give you the same amount of access. We'll give you this, this, and this, and this. And all it's going to cost you is $10, $12 million, whatever it is.
It's a lot cheaper than an NBA franchise.
I just figured if you're Pastner, you go in and
ask for 15.
Yeah, ask for more.
Yeah.
It's like you could buy us for 20.
Unlimited access.
And all of a sudden UNLV's got $20 million and they're mogging everybody.
If you donate $20 million, we will unretire Larry Johnson's number.
They'll do whatever you want.
We'll have Derek Coleman sit next to you at a halftime. No, Derek Coleman went to Syracuse. Who am I thinking of? There's another power forward, but UNLV has never been as good as they were before I remembered it. Like, if that makes sense.
Paul writes in on YouTube, says $10 million a year with no return on investment. No thanks. Well, you get the same return on investment as you do from owning a sports franchise, which is people know that you own a sports franchise. That's why people buy sports franchises, because they want people to know that they buy sports franchises.
You don't get to sell it, I suppose.
It's a status symbol.
It's like being a Packers owner.
Only it's $300.
Joey, where's your framed Packers owner?
It's next to the nightstand.
Attaboy. All right, we'll take a quick timeout. We'll be back with our good friend Michael Bruntz coming up next on 1620 The Zone.
Broncos country, let's ride.
The Bronx is back in town. The Bronx is back in town. I said the Bronx is back in town. The Bronx is back in town. The Bronx is back in town. Bronx is back in town. Bronx is back in town. Bronx is back in town.
Michael Brooks, Husker 24/7 on Happer and Schaefer, 1620 The Zone.
Well, yes, Nebraska was picked 11th in the Big Ten Conference this morning, but I'd pick Michael Bruntz number 1 if there was a preseason media poll.
Whoa.
Yes. Bruntz joins us now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Hello, Michael.
Hello. That's very kind of you. I don't think it's true, but I appreciate the sentiment.
Number 1 for me.
Wow.
He's the one who taught me about the splendor of coffee.
Yeah, I remember those days. The early morning practices.
Those were headier times back then. Certainly less jittery times, that's for sure.
So I thought that Nebraska would be in between like 8th and 10th. So I guess I'm mildly surprised that they got picked 11th. But then I looked at the list and it was like, well, Washington 7, Iowa 8, Illinois 9, Minnesota 10, Nebraska 11, Wisconsin 12. And it all was like, yeah, okay, I guess I could see that.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, you could probably jumble some of those teams. I think I didn't really dig into the vote totals. It seemed like basically 8 to 10, 8 to 11 was pretty close, I guess. 8 to 12, somewhere in there. I mean, you guys do the tier stuff all the time. I mean, that's probably a mid-tier, the mid-tier pool for you guys, right? Was there anybody that was in there that you're surprised by?
That is probably the end of the mid-tier. Yeah, right? Nebraska is the cutoff point for the mid-tier.
You wouldn't include your boys in Wisconsin?
They could make a run at it, but no. As of right now, no.
I think that's fair.
That seems right, Bruntz. Yeah, I think that's kind of where Nebraska's at the back end of the middle tier.
Nebraska's problem is they're always at the back end of it. They need to be towards the front of it.
Yeah, I mean that's basically the season, right? And how do you handle teams that are in that tier, which gets us to the coin flip conversation, and we're back to where we are every July, heading into a Nebraska football season. So I don't know. I mean, there's basically 5 games. I feel like we talked about this last week or the week before that. There were like 4 games that are kind of against those mid-tier type teams. I guess you could throw Michigan State on the road, even though they're much further down. And that's the season. That's how you stay on course, is by winning those games. So, I didn't. I would have guessed Nebraska would have been around like 10th. I think kind of looking off of the various preseason magazines and everything else, I think that was a pretty reasonable group that kind of fell between about 8 and 12, and Nebraska, for better for worse, is in that group.
Bruntz, you're a grizzled veteran of media days. Is there a coach or a team that you're actually somewhat interested in that isn't Nebraska? Is there, because
Bob Chesney?
Sort of what has happened with media days is it's just a media availability for the team of which you cover, because they're just less interested in covering the conference as a whole. But is there still a team that you're like, all right, kind of curious to see what this coach has to say?
Well, the thing that's changed is they no longer force the coaches to sit at a table for 2
I know
hours.
you did appreciate that.
You don't get the ability to kind of move around. So that's been unfortunate. But I don't know. I'm trying to remember who Nebraska's got. They're paired with Indiana. Michigan will be there that same day. I'm moderately interested in Kyle Whittingham and how that whole experience is going to go. I know he's obviously pretty well thought of around here, and with good reason. And it felt like Michigan their way into a better coach than what they had before.
But they're still complaining about it.
Right. Yeah. And so there's that I'm at least interested in. Who else goes Nebraska's day? I should actually have this committed to memory, but I don't.
So I don't remember who the other. I know who the big teams
Oh, I
are.
definitely don't. I wasn't even going to try on that one. Michigan and Indiana are definitely right.
I think we might get Mike Loxley that day. I'm always eager to see where Mike Loxley goes with his opening statement.
So here's your Thursday.
That was right out of the chute.
your Thursday schedule: Indiana at 11:30, Maryland 11:45, Michigan at noon, Nebraska 12:15, Northwestern 12:30, and Jed Fish ends things off at 12:45 with Washington.
Yeah, I think probably Michigan is the most interesting that I mean, I'm eager to hear what Cignetti's going to say because I think he's fairly interesting. But I think Whittingham is probably where most of my interest lies with the non-Nebraska stuff that day. I'm sure he'll get swarmed. I'm sure that's just going to be how it is because it's Michigan. But I'll be watching their situation pretty closely because, like I said, I mean, I think very highly of him. I think he had a good staff at Utah. I know a lot of that staff went with him to Michigan. And so I am very eager to kind of see how that looks in the Big Ten because I think they've got a chance to be okay despite they were picked 5th. Is that where they were?
Who, Michigan?
I believe 5th.
5th, number 5.
Yeah, so I'm interested in that. Northwestern doesn't do much for me. So.
Are you going to get the 24/7 Malort drinking team back together?
Oh,
I get in way too late on Wednesday night for that. So unfortunately,
it is never too late for Malort.
Well, yeah, we'll see what former 6'4" wide receiver Todd Peterson is doing that night. But I'm guessing it's a school night, so.
Guessing or hoping?
Well, little column A, a little column B. But no, it's the Malort will not be passed around the night before.
Will you at least?
I need to holster up a bunch of fugitive gifts.
Yeah, there you go. That's what you need to do.
Will you at least commit to playing shuffleboard with BC?
I could do that.
All right.
I could do that.
We'll put you on the hook for that for sure. I expect a voicemail at some point during the night. We'll see what happens.
You're going to be asleep somewhere, probably at a sensible hour. I'm guessing.
Yeah, in my own bed. That's exactly right. I just saw this stuff that you retweeted. This is good from Cody Nagel, who dove into some of the fourth quarter stuff over college football over the last 5 seasons. So like clutch time, basically. Within 6 points and going into the fourth quarter, a 6-point game on either side going into the fourth quarter. Nebraska has apparently had 24 of those situations since 2021, and they have about a 250 win percentage, which is they've both played almost the most games and have the least amount of success during that period of time.
Yeah, I mean, I would have expected about that number. That feels about right, doesn't it?
It does.
Having lived it,
it's at least confirming to see like it visually. Nebraska just sticks out completely amongst everybody on the entire list. So like at least that confirms that idea that Nebraska is like the only team that has this.
Yeah, no, that big red N is out there by itself, and that's. What was it? Last 5 years, so you've got a little bit of late frost era baked in there. So there's a little bit on that tab too. But yeah, it's. I mean, that's where it is, right? Like you've got to figure out a way to win close games. You got to figure out a way to make plays late when it matters. Like, I mean, that feels like one of the big themes to the year is how do you win those games? How do you do it in November when you have the chance to do it? And we'll see if Nebraska can do that. For getting the special teams kind of that house in order last year, I mean, that's a step there as well. But, the efficiency has to be better. There was another, it was come from behind.
Down by 7 or more or down by exactly 7, I guess, going into the fourth.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's kind of felt it felt a little inevitable at times, so they've got to find a way to reverse that.
Brunt, is this the first time that you can remember with the most indispensable that a center has graced the number 1 position? And what does it say about Justin Evans and his value for Nebraska that this is the guy over a quarterback, over a left tackle, over whatever other positions that. This is the guy for Nebraska in 2026 when you look at the roster from importance and a talent standpoint.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's a reflection of where the depth is on this team, and that's I think Justin Evans is a really solid center. I think you're going to see him pop up on. I know he's already popped up on at least one preseason All Big Ten list, but I think when you look at how you're going to kind of bring all this offensive line, these pieces together, I mean, he's going to be in the middle of all that, and he's going to have to be directing traffic. And kind of making all this stuff work. Mike, as you know, like it sometimes is also you kind of give it the oh crap test. Like if you saw somebody limp off in the third quarter of an important game, a tight game, maybe 7 points or less, what's your level of panic there? And I think he, especially compared with other potential centers on the team, I mean it's experience-wise, not even close. He's close to almost 2,000 career snaps. I think the other guys that would probably be 2 and 3 on the depth chart. When the season starts, you're talking fewer than 100 career snaps, and that's a big deal. So that was kind of why he ended up there. I mean, it was a conversation that BC and I had back and forth a fair amount between. Where do you put Calandria? I think the fact that you have somebody like TJ Lateef on the roster makes it a little bit less of a absolute slam dunk number one than maybe what we've seen in the past when we've done this list. I think you can make a case probably for Elijah Pritchett as well, but I feel a little bit better about whatever the depth is going to be at tackle with guys that were out for the spring and that kind of thing. So I think that was a big reason for the thinking that he was going to, at least my thinking, that he's your top guy. I mean, I think he's a good center. I think he's have to have a good season. I think he's, was trending in the right direction last year as well. So it was a little bit tougher list this year, though. I mean, like, I think, the fact that you have a little bit more depth at certain spots, you kind of quibble a little bit more about where you put guys. Even defensive line, that's a great example where, is it Waneri? Is it, Lenhart and Popple? Like, how do you kind of make sense of that depth? Because I think a lot of those guys are going to be important, but are they necessarily, head and shoulders above the other guys that are with them on the depth chart?
Right.
So it was an interesting exercise this year, I think, maybe from what it's been in the past.
Yeah, you got to make a couple of criteria on that list. Are you so much better than everybody else behind you that it makes a giant difference? So you actually have to not have depth, at least a little bit, at the position, at least traditionally. All right, Brunts, appreciate your guys' work putting that together. As always, good stuff, and look forward to your coverage in Chicago this week. Have a good week. Enjoy the trip.
Yeah. Take care, guys. We'll see you.
Michael Brunts from Husker 24/7. The Malort drinking team not getting back together this year, but I still hope to receive a voicemail.
I do hope that they just call you just randomly, but like completely sober. And so then you just get like the really awkward voicemail.
It was a long, terrible drive. I did not like it at all. But
are they flying it?
I don't know. I just assumed that they were driving for some reason.
He said they get in late on Wednesday, which I guess maybe they're just not leaving until later on Wednesday, but
it's possible.
So good luck to them.
This stuff is kind of nuts. I'll retweet it as well from Cody Nagel from 24/7. Just Nebraska's played so many close games in this period of time that they measured from 2021 until now. Over 5 seasons, so many close games within 6 points. Almost the most in college or Power 5 football. Just less than Miami and Minnesota. The same amount as South Carolina, Iowa State, and Iowa of games, 24 of them. And out of everyone, no team has won fewer of the percentage of their games than, well, it's just Auburn and Wisconsin have won fewer percentage of their games, winning percentage of their 6 point or less games since 2021. They've played more and they have won less.
Incredible.
It's truly amazing stuff. But you guys already
so
do that.
You said Wisconsin has even less than
Wisconsin has played only 15 games, but they've won only 20% of them.
Which
Nebraska
is remarkable
has played,
because they have beaten Nebraska on several of those. So several of their
overtime
wins come at Nebraska's expense.
That's true.
22 and 23 come to mind for me on that.
So they only have 3 wins.
So there's 2.
if I'm doing the math right.
Yeah,
Right,
that's-
3 and 15.
That's incredible. How far back does this go?
2021.
Okay, so yeah, it'd be 22 and 23.
Oh my God, we got to find out what the other one was.
Yeah,
6-point game going in the fourth quarter. It'd be hard, but
we'll get there.
yeah, we could get there. All right, let's take a quick break. We have our accountability. So we are an accountable show. Coming up next on Happer and Schaefer on 1620 The Zone.
Good luck with that, Dan.
All right, final couple minutes here on Happer and Schaefer, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Make sure you continue to head to our website, 1620thezone.com, to sign up for the Road to Wrigley package, Nebraska and Missouri volleyball at Wrigley Field, Sunday, September 6th. You get tickets to that game, round-trip airfare from Omaha to Chicago, a 2-night hotel stay in downtown Chicago, and a $150 gift card to use on Malort if you'd like to, or whatever else you'd like to use it for. It's your money. You could win it. Road to Wrigley, presented by Union Bank and Trust. At UBT, people don't have your money has people. Member FDIC. Go sign up right now. 1620thezone.com. Think about that. Volleyball is coming very soon. Very soon.
Under a month away?
Well under a month away, right? Just like middle of August.
Yeah,
volleyball begins.
About this,
trying to think of when the exhibition that they're playing against.
Why do I feel like the number ends in teen?
Well, I think I want to just randomly say it's the 19th. I don't know why, which would be the last day that
I
it
could
could
take
be
a look. I got the schedule, Bob. It starts.
What's it say, Joey?
Oh, August 27th is the Spikes Under the Lights at AT&T Stadium. I don't see an exhibition game. I see a red.
Well,
white
that's
scrimmage.
that's an exhibition event. It doesn't. It won't count towards the regular season.
Okay.
But so that's their big NIL exhibition event, and then they
Creighton has their exhibition, one of their exhibitions against South Dakota, August 16th.
Okay, well there you go. Volleyball is coming
At
very
DJ
soon.
Silk Arena. I have a volleyball thing I have to do this week.
Hey,
Oh yeah,
It's time.
it's Mr. Hype Man.
It's getting to be that time. So I'm very, very excited.
Connor Hyper.
That's right. That's what they call me. It's time
Good one.
to make amends with ourselves. You know, we have to be honest with ourselves.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for accountability.
I asked Tim Verghese a very long and winding question. I hate myself for this because I hate when people listening.
I don't think it was that
No,
bad.
but Schaefer, when I listen to the radio and I hear people do this, it grinds me to a halt. I can't think about anything else when people do it. It just bothers me so much. And then so for me to be a hypocrite and do it myself and not even ask him a question at the end of it, I can't even believe I did that today.
Hey, we all do it.
I am.
We all do it.
I am just embarrassed by it. And so accountability, that's number one.
You got to land the plane.
You got to land it.
That's what we always talk
If
about.
you're going to go on this long and winding road, unless there's enough like familiarity and comfort of like this is a conversational, which they haven't been with Tim. It's like we ask him questions.
Yeah.
Sometimes like with Brunt, sometimes we just talk to him. Right. And that makes sense. But with Tim, we ask him questions, and I didn't ask him a question. And I took him on my question was a minute long. We only have it for 10 minutes. A minute-long question?
I think you're being too hard on yourself.
It's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed by it, and I like to apologize to everybody. I'm sorry. What a bad job by me.
Look, again, I think you're being a little hard on yourself as
It's accountability.
As someone who has been on both ends of it, where I asked too long of a question and then have sat there as a guest and just waited.
But here's the thing.
For a 90-second question.
Here's the
to
thing.
conclude.
We control this. We're in
I
control.
know, I get it.
You could just not.
Should we have a timer in the studio so I could just start the timer whenever you're asking a question?
Actually, yes. Too long of question. If your question goes more than 15 seconds, you're out.
We'll just have it up next to the 1620 the zone clock.
That's a good. Put on the bear. They have every
What should
second
happen
counts.
is the light should blink in.
Every
Or just do a
second
countdown.
counts. Every second
A pitch
counts.
count.
Or just a final countdown starts blaring out of speakers behind you.
That'd be great.
I don't hate it. I don't hate
I
it.
like it.
I did drink enough water to survive this
Okay.
weekend,
Good
which I'm
job.
happy with.
Good job.
Yesterday,
I was worried for you.
Saturday was about as bad of as significant of a golf outing to get through as I've ever experienced.
I don't know that I have a lot with the show. I mean, I'm sure I didn't turn the microphone off before Joey did it for me. I don't recall any time where I turned it on. I think I turned it on every time.
Yeah, you
today.
turn
I
it
don't-
on every time.
Good job, Mike.
I like to imagine your brain has this mental scorecard, Joey, that you just like dive into.
It was a few
for this
times.
segment.
He takes
I tell
receipts,
you,
baby.
I pay attention. I watch you.
Well, I appreciate it.
I hover over your
Watching you.
As far as the weekend, something I want to be accountable for is I had this idea that we would be able to take our son to a fast food or restaurant establishment, and it would just go well. It did not.
Damn it.
And it resulted in everyone just being unhappy at various stages of this entire experience.
I don't know why you thought that, though.
Yeah, I don't know. So I took it myself on Friday. It was just us, and we go to Culver's, and it was a challenge. And then I'm thinking, like, okay, it's all three of us. This should be easier. Well, what has happened is Hudson sees like a pinball machine and just thinks that he should be able to play pinball, refuses to eat his food, tells us he's not going to eat his food. Food gets thrown away. The entire 20-minute drive home, he is screaming about how he needs to eat. Nobody allowed him to eat, and it was bad.
Yeah.
It was very, very bad. So I'm holding myself accountable for taking a 2.5-year-old out in public. I shouldn't have.
Put yourself in the right position, you know?
Failure on me. Get your food to go.
Joey?
Well,
you got to have something.
I got a couple. For this show, I forgot to record a segment, but thankfully I got my backup recording right next to me. But over the weekend, I've said this for a few weeks now since the EA college football video game was out. I stated that I'm never going to buy the game. I'm not going to make an investment. Then Xbox came out with this 30% off deal.
Shocking.
$20 off. Hey, just for you, you could get this game for $50
It's
instead
definitely
of
a deal that was just for you.
Just for Joey,
Just
they
for
call
me.
it.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, $70 should be full price plus some of a video game anyway, but I digress.
But I noticed this on Friday. I held off, and then Sunday I was bored. I'm like, oh, why not? I couldn't resist. $20 off, and even though I've already played like a few hours of it, I already know I made a bad investment.
Really?
Why?
You're disappointed?
Because the last game I got, I only played for 2 months, and then I stopped playing.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what happens with video games.
But anyway, I did a trial run on Dynasty mode with a terrible team from the Sun Belt.
Okay.
You want to guess who it is?
Troy.
Okay.
It's we talked about this team in the past. This team barely gets above 500 in the win total.
UL Monroe.
Yes.
Okay.
Nice. But you're mad at the game already? You're out?
Did you not like the dynasty points aspect of it?
No, I did not like that. I don't like the NIL component where
Okay.
you invest that much. I think you start out with like 35 NIL points. Or
Well,
something.
when you're at UL Monroe, you don't have
get very
NIL.
many.
Well, yeah.
You
But
need Cody Campbell.
I felt good after the first half against Mississippi State. It was a competitive ball game. Then the third quarter happened. It was a disaster.
Sounds like you're like the precursor of actually being hooked on this game.
Yeah, it does.
Oh,
Because what's going to happen is now you're gonna want to see what life is like if you just have a few more dynasty points.
Yeah.
And in order to get those dynasty
well,
points, you're going to have to grind.
I learned that I'm not going to be on UL Monroe. I'll probably be on a Power 4 team. I'm kind of thinking about California.
Okay.
Kind of thinking about California.
JLK or wherever he is.
Yeah.
Do
JKS.
Do it for Schaefer.
Okay.
You'll enjoy it.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you've taken accountability for it, but I think you're going to end up liking it. So maybe it's not a bad choice after all.
We'll see how long I keep playing the game.
That is it for us today. If you miss anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find all of our stuff. It is time for the crossover with young Matt coming up next.